I'm so sorry. I'm trying to set up this tiny thing here. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. Welcome. This looks very inviting. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Hi. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to the stream. There I am. Hoi. I hope you're doing well. I am. I'm trying to put this nice thing up here for... Hello, hello. Trying to put this here. Welcome, welcome. We're literally just getting started, but thank you so much for the raid. Hi. Hi. I'm just trying to put this thing up here because apparently this route is not, you know how we had this very yikes scene already in Gretel's route. I don't want a repeat of that. So I looked up a little on what's happening, and apparently we have this kind of stuff happening in Kaguya's route, so I'm just trying to put this up here. A Pikachu for the Raiders, of course, a Pikachu for the Raiders. Pikachu! Pika Pika! Pikachu! Hello, welcome! Is that good? Can you read that? I think it looks okay. Pika Day, yes, every day is Pikachu Day. Every day is Pikachu Day. With me. Really good. Thank you. And thank you so much for the sub. You already have 3 months. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm very well prepared for stream. Not this. I think this is good, right? This way it's definitely visible. Yeah. And an Uber voice, what do you want me to say? Here we go. Yeah, I think that's good. So if anyone stumbles upon this stream, I don't know how often it happens, but I read a little about Kaguya's route, and apparently there's mentions of the self-harm and everything in there, and I don't really want to make anyone feel uncomfy. So just to be on the safe side. Here we go. Because last time we finished up with Gretel's route, we're good. So we will see what Kaguya is about. Last time we met Kaguya, he was our servant at home. But as we saw with Gretel, I guess everything about the other person changes. So I wonder what kind of world he lives in. Because apparently if you saw the timestamp on that, I literally just started his route just to, you know, get there quickly. Whew. Whew. Okay. The hot amber liquid. The hot amber liquid rippled in rose-printed porcelain. I could smell citrus in the steam. This was one of the many cafes in a looking-glass world. Customers came from all over town to enjoy a spot of afternoon tea. Oh, do we work in the cafe this time as well? Wait, this isn't good. Hold on. Just a little. Okay, there we go. Sure thing. Someone wants to pay? Okay. It was one of our regulars. I stopped what I was doing and headed over, and I accidentally turned the volume up on the wrong place. How's the volume? It's still the same as last time, so I hope it's good. Okay, so we still work in a cafe in this one. That's a good thing. Something. Just, I guess something stay the same. Glad to hear it. We really appreciate your business. Sounds fine? Okay, good. I smiled back at him. My name, Yurika Arisu, occupation, waitress. Yeah? When I handed him his change, his eyes lit up. What is it? Just tilting my head, I gazed into his eyes. He faltered and glanced away. Aha! Uh-huh. Oh, Cinderella's in this one. I heard a certain someone calling from behind the counter and flinched exaggeratedly in mock surprise. Coming! Sorry, but we have to pick this up again some other time. I shot the customer a quick wink. In response, he smiled slightly and raised a hand in farewell. You called, Cinderella? Oh, he's wearing his cafe outfit. Ouch. After the man left the cafe, he returned to the counter only to get smacked upside the head with an empty plate. Taisho! Yes, sir! I responded cheerfully and the grumpy-looking man let out a sigh. His name was Cinderella and he managed the cafe. In other words, he was my boss. Okay. I guess. Okay, I won't. Normally Cinderella liked to ditch the cafe and goof off in town, but every now and then he would get bored enough to help me run the store. He was a fairly handy guy and could master any task you threw at him, but his social skills weren't quite as polished. Yeah, let's put it that way. Oh. Sounds like he's a bit different from the way he was in his own room. No. I cocked my head cutely. I'm glad she can say that about herself, like, yeah. You know. Just then. Ooh. A loud voice rang through the dining area, followed by a slapping sound. The source was none other than the very couple Cinderella had just indicated. Damn. A bit different, but still slacking off, yeah. The peaceful atmosphere was gone and replaced by sizzling tension. Evidently the woman had struck her boyfriend. He sat there clutching his cheek and gazing at his beau with a half smile. Feels like a soap opera. I smell drama! He grinned like a goofball. Oh, naturally the woman struck him again. This time the impact sent him toppling right out of his chair. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ooh, okay. And with that, the woman stormed out. Cinderella wasn't one to mince his words. Will you approach the man on the floor? Yes, I will. I wonder what would happen if I don't. Off to a good start. Absolutely. The man we are supposed to, I don't know, romance is getting slapped around by someone else. Good. Go off to a good start, yes. Thinking quickly, I pulled out my handkerchief, ran some cold water over it, then hurried over to the fallen man. Excuse me, are you alright, sir? She hit somebody in public, nobody does anything? Well, I mean, she already left. What are you supposed to do if someone gets slapped in public? I pressed the cool cloth against his swollen cheek. He blinked back at me, his eyes wide as saucers. Hello? Then out of nowhere he clasped my hand in his. Eh? You one fit bird! I don't know, intervene. What? Yeah, well. I mean, after the first slap happened. And asked me out on the spot. All around us I could hear the other customers whispering. In response to his sudden confession, you punch him, turn him down, accept. Wait, what? This is already where I'm supposed to do this. Where? Okay. Wait. Just so you guys are aware. Just so you guys are aware. You can get your first bad ending if you punch him. Anyway, we're supposed to accept, apparently. I mean, sure, right? He was literally just dumped, and he saw us for a second and wants to go out with us. Of course we'll accept. Sure! That's completely normal! My response shocked our audience even more. Yes, I understand that.
めっちゃ嬉しいわ。
めっちゃ嬉しいわ。
おいおい、ちょっと待て。あんた正気か。俺が働かせすぎたか。
The next thing I knew, Cinderella walked right up to me and put a hand on my forehead.
熱はない。
I'm afraid I'm sound in body and mind, sir.
いや、だって。
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. As Cinderella stared at me in shock, my new boyfriend pushed himself up onto his feet and gave me a big hug, beaming from ear to ear.
おっしゃ。今日から君は僕の彼女さんや。
Okay.
おい、この野郎。
Conscious of the public eye, I gave him a little push and he backed away from me.
自分名前なんて言うん？
He doesn't even know her name! It's Yurika.
ゆりかちゃん。可愛い名前やな。自分にめっちゃ似合うとるね。
Uh-huh. He clasped both of my hands and shook them firmly. Thanks. What about you?
僕はかぐやっていうね。自分の好きなように呼んだってや。
I think you guys have the order mixed up of how you're supposed to start going out. I think I stick to Kaguya for now.
じゃあ今からゆりかちゃんは僕の彼女さんちゅうことでよろしゅうな。
Is it? I look forward to it very much. It was just another day in your average run-of-the-mill cafe. Or so I thought, but through a series of unforeseen events, I ended up with a boyfriend. How? Why? The fuck? I think this is the quickest we have dated anyone in this game. After a one-of-a-kind whirlwind courtship, I went back to work like nothing ever happened. Yeah, sure. Believe what?
あんたたちのことだよ。出会って何分だ?
Yeah.
1分くらいしか経ってねえだろ。出会って即告って即 OK って。なんだそのインスタント恋愛は。
What a time saver, am I right? Kaguya was sitting at his table, sipping a tea I made for him with a smile on his face. We're dating the guy, roll the credits, yeah! He noticed me looking at him and waved cheerfully. Not to be outdone, I waved back. Meanwhile, Cinderella rolled his eyes. It's the quickest anyone. Yeah.
男の方はまだわからないでもないが、あんたが一番理解できない。
You think so?
そうですかって。
Well, what's so bad about it?
いや、普通あるだろう。
Everything is wrong. The whole damn setup is wrong. Yeah, a little. Oh yeah? What do you mean setup?
そりゃ恋愛のいろはっていうか、情緒っていうか。物事には順序とかあるし、積み重ねとかあるだろう。
He's right. Oh, I see. How very traditionalist of you. I reached out and pinched my cheek.
今の小馬鹿にした言い方がムカつく。
I very much like her sass. I don't know how much of it was actually, you know, I don't know how she actually talks in the original in Japanese, but I very much enjoy because I know Molly, the translator of this, Molly Lee. I love the way she translates and writes. So it feels very natural on Yurika. Like, you know, most of the time it feels like in Japanese dating games especially, the girls are very meek. I think Yurika, even in the original, Yurika is not a very meek character, so Molly's translation fits right in. And I'm very happy about that. The emotional arc in Yoruba is also all over the place. That's very true. Not trying to be sexy.
ああいう見た目も軽い男は中身も軽い。絶対に女をとっかえ引っかえしてるタイプだ。
What does that make you?
あんただって見たろ。あいつがあんたに告る直前。
Cinderella, what does that make you?
振られてたじゃねえか。
Also, the lady killer so far has, for some reason, always been our brother. Rubbing my sore cheek, I tilted my head in contemplation. What's so bad about it? If anything, it just means I know for a fact that he's single, doesn't it?
いや、確かにそうだけど。
Look, Cinderella.
なんだよ。
I don't approve you trash-talking some guy you only just met.
よく知りもしない相手と付き合うのは。
Getting to know each other is the whole point of dating. You go on dates because you want to know more about them. I guess? He scolded me.
好きなのか
Well, I am. I wouldn't agree to it if I wasn't.
ま、あんたがいいならそれ以上は何も言わねえが泣きを見るなよ
Why not? Won't you comfort me?
いやだほらさっさと休憩行ってこい
She does have a point, but like, wouldn't you normally go on the dates and then say, okay, I would like to go out with you and keep dating you after you've gotten to know each other a little more? Whatever. Okay, thanks. Be back soon. I pulled off my apron and headed over to see my new boyfriend. Sorry it took so long.
全然待っとらへんよ。可愛いひいさんのこと見てたら。
Ah, he still calls
あっ
us
という間に過ぎとったわ。
He-san.
ほんまやで。
Hehe, glad to hear it.
お腹すいた
Am I ever?
僕もや。ほな、今から美味しいもん食べに
You
行こ
are sitting in a cafe. You're walking in a cafe. Okay.
う。おっと、その前に。
Kaguya knelt down in front of me and offered his hand.
僕のひいさん、
Oh.
お手をどうぞ。
In terms of dating, we go blind dates already. Yeah, I guess. And so, hand in hand, we walked down the street. Considering I'd only known him for a few hours, this was all happening rather quickly, and I was a bit flustered. What do you want to have for lunch, Kaguya?
僕は何でもええで。
Yeah, she definitely. Yeah, she has some arguments. Good question. The lunch rush had come and gone, but the streets were still brimming with appetizing smells. Fried food, meats, baked goods. I hesitated internally, my eyes met Kaguya's and he smiled.
迷ってんならそこらのうまそうな店片っ端から見てじっくり決めよ
Good idea.
う。なんか食べたいもんあったら遠慮せんと言ってな。
Okay, same goes for you.
僕はひいさんの好きなもんがええな。せっかくこうして好きなこと
I
あるんだ
literally.
から
Okay.
好きなことを同じもんが食べたいし
I mean, at least his route starts off a little more normally than Gretel's, because Gretel's just started with us being stuck in that weird room, right? Meanwhile, he's just, okay, we're walking, we're dating a guy we met 5 minutes ago, but it's more normal than the other thing, at least. His favorite girl already. Jeez, I'm blushing. No matter what.
そういうもんやって
At this point, I was clear I was going to have to be the one to make the decision. In terms of first date food, I usually go with a nice classic cafe, but I couldn't exactly go to a rival cafe on my lunch break. Perhaps my best bet was a crepe or something in Elwayne. How about crepes?
おええな
Ooh, I
Yeah,
haven't had any in a
crepe
long
is
while. Okay. Grinning, Kaguya led me by the hand. You seem really happy. His childlike innocence made a simple stroll feel like so much fun.
そりゃめっちゃ嬉しいもん。ひいさんみたいな可愛い彼女ができて僕はほんま幸せもんやで。
he's over the moon. A guy named Kaguya is over the moon, huh? Huh? What's puppet mean anyway?
姫様ってことやで。
Ooh.
ひいさん
I've never heard it before. Is it some kind of regional slang?
そうどないやろな。
Oh, you're not from around here, are you, Kaguya? Are you from a different country?
そう見える
So you're not, or...? I was merely trying to make small talk. After all, it was the perfect way to learn more about my new boyfriend, as well as a healthy part of any budding relationship. Flies of Babuka starts playing in distance. But just then, a delicious fragrance wafted its way over to us. Looking around for the source, I followed my nose and found kebabs. Yeah, kebabs of all things.
どないしたん
Oh, nothing. I turned away from the kebab stand. No matter how good it sounded, there was no way in hell I could eat kebabs on a first date! You can if you're not... you know. She's probably the last girl he hasn't dated yet, so easy for Besides, I already told Kaguya I wanted crepes. Cute, feminine crepes. I would sooner die than turn to him and ask, hey, can we go with kebabs instead? So I needed to shift my stomach out of meat mode and start thinking about dessert.
あ なあなあひいさん
Oh,
美味しそうなもんあるで
お
早よ行こ
oh, okay. Well, pulling me by the hand, he led me to the very same kebab stand.
うここやここ
Hmm.
あー匂いやな
Yeah. With such perfect timing, I didn't quite know how to react. Behind the stand, the man in charge was happily grilling his skewers of meat over charcoal fire. Ooh, the closer I get, the better it smells.
クレープはやめてここにせえへん
Mm. Huh?
なんかめっちゃ美味しそうやしひいさんが好きなもんでって言って
Well, I mean,
あかんかな
sure. He tilted his head inquiringly. Oh no, I don't mind at all. That suits me fine. I gave him a thumbs up. If anything, it's everything I ever wanted and more. In response, Kaguya gave me a thumbs up in kind, tapping his thumb against mine.
よっしゃ
Ooh. Oh, wait, what? I didn't see that there was more text. It was just him ordering. Couples discount. Oh, couples discount. With our purchase complete, we paid a visit to the lake. No one else was around, so it was the perfect place for a private moment. Kaguya, let me pay you back for my half.
ええでええで
Hmm.
女の子に払わせるわけいかへんしそれに
Oh.
ひいさんが可愛いからおっちゃんも負けてくれ
Man, I want a discount when I buy stuff as
ここら辺
well.
にしようか
Hello? He spotted the bench on the lake shore and set his things on it. Are you sure you don't want me to pay you back?
うんええよそんな遠慮することなんかあらへんって
Hmm? Okay then, thanks for treating me.
はいどういたしまして
He patted me on the head. How is he even holding something like a kebab with those sleeves? Where? How?
ほな座って食べよ
Okay.
ああちょい待ち
Without warning, he suddenly pulled off his kimono and spread it out on the bench.
そのまま座るとひいさんの服が汚れるやろ
Oh.
僕の着物の上に座ったらええよ
What? You don't have to do that, it's just a bench. Besides, I don't want to get your kimono all dirty.
僕のは別に汚れても構わへんから
Okay. He pulled me down onto the bench on top of his kimono layer. Sorry about this.
そんな遠慮せんとき自分は
Eh,
僕の彼女さんなんやから
okay. Would they?
そういうもんやってちょっと待ってな今用意したるから
He pulled a skewer out of the paper bag and slid each piece of meat off the stick onto a paper plate. What are you doing?
ひいさんが食べる分を取り分けてるんやでほらかぶりついたら口元が汚れるやろ
Wait, I'm sorry. What exactly is a... Oh, I see. Okay, I was thinking of something completely different when I was reading kebab, but I guess it's literally just meat skewers.
ひいさんはかぶりついた方が良かったかほんならこっちの方を
I feel so pampered. Almost like I'm a real princess. Hehehe.
大げさやなこれくらい彼氏なんやから当然やって
I somehow doubt that, yeah. You know, my last boyfriend actually locked me into a house deep in the woods. So,
はいできたほらひいさん
wait, what? He held the kebab, or rather just the meat, up to my mouth. After a moment of hesitation, I opened my mouth and took the bite.
お味の方はどうですか
It's divine. My reply came out a bit louder than I meant to. Completely normal stuff. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, right. That's just what happens sometimes. The meat was delightfully tender and the juices danced on my tongue as I chewed. The seasoning wasn't too overpowering either. As I savored the meat, Kaguya beamed with satisfaction.
よかったほんなら僕の分も食べてええよ
Wait, no. As he spoke, he slid the pieces of meat from the second skewer. What? Don't you want it?
僕はさっき自分のとこの店で食べたからお腹いっぱいやね
Wait, but didn't we get it because you wanted to eat that? Surely the little treats we sell aren't enough of a meal to satisfy a grown man. If memory serves, all he had was a scone and a cup of tea. I'd be starving if I was him. Wait, then why the heck did I suggest crepes of all things?
僕な、こう見えて小食やね。
Okay.
さ、できたで。どうぞ。遠慮なく召し上がれ。
He stepped a piece of meat onto his fork and held it up to my mouth. I was caught in quite a what? Quandary? Was he actually full? Or was he just offering to be polite? Will you eat Kaguya? Nope. We're going to encourage him to eat it himself. Kaguya, do you think I'm some kind of hunger monster? I gave him a withering stare.
食欲魔人。
You've never heard of it? It's a wicked creature that gobbles up everything in sight. That was me with dinner earlier. My parents were so surprised that I ate so much. They were like, wow, you sure were hungry. And I mean, I hadn't... Dinner was my first real meal today, so of course, I was hungry. He cocked his head playfully. Oh yes, I'm afraid so.
ひいさんならええよ。さあ、僕をお食べ。
What the fuck? How do you respond to his joke? Make accessory toward, play along, ignore, give him a weird look. No, we will make accessory toward, apparently. I can, yeah, I think I can see why people write guides for... This guy has 14 bad endings. I like him, good boy, yeah. Yeah, so far so good. I think he's very cute, but I'm scared of what, you know, what he has in store for us. Oh, come off it, mate. I smacked him lightly. How's that? Did I sound like you?
ええやんええやん。見事なツッコミやで。ひいさん。
Yay! Okay, but all jokes aside, I think we should take this opportunity to eat together.
はい。
He retracted his fork. Then something occurred to me. Oh, did you want me to feed you next?
せやねん。食べさせてくれる？
Will you feed Kaguya? Oh no, we're back with the yeses and the nos. I need a paper. Just a second. I don't know why no one has made a guide for this game that actually, you know, tells you the entire choice and not just yes and no. Because the guide I'm using literally is just yes, yes, no, no, no. And there's a save somewhere in between. I will literally not remember how many choices I have done the next time I play this game. He passed me the fork. I stepped a piece of meat onto it and held it up to his mouth. Say, ah.
あ
Ah. How is it?
ー。うわ、これめっちゃ美味しいな。
I know, right? Our mushy couple quotient was off the charts. Hard to think we were total strangers just a few hours ago.
はい、お水。
Thank you. Thanks. Once our meal was finished, Kaguya took the initiative to throw away our trash and buy some drinks. I offered to go in his place, but he insisted. He really seems to enjoy waiting on me hand and foot. Thank you for always being so considerate, Kaguya.
別にええって。全部僕が好きでやってることやしな。
Afterwards, the two of us stared out at the gently rippling lake. My lunch break was approaching its end, and I knew the time would be better spent having some sort of conversation, but I think we were both in a bit of a food coma. Curiously, I stole a glance at Kaguya's face and profile beside me.
どないしたん？
He has really pretty eyes. How's your cheek? I gingerly touched a pink swollen spot in his face. Though he didn't let it show, I could tell it must hurt badly.
ええ男が台無し？
No. I mean, we don't actually see it on the sprite, so... I'm afraid so. You really think highly of yourself, huh?
冗談やって。
I pulled my handkerchief out of my pocket and pressed it against his cheek.
このハンカチ汚れてしもうたな。新しいの。
What's that going to help against a swollen cheek? I don't need a new one, but you should keep this one and use it when you need to. Kaguya cocked his head at me.
ほんまに僕がもらってもええの？
Sure, I don't mind. Ooh. He blinked at me in surprise the same way he had back when we first met. Then the look in his eyes softened.
ならもらっとくわ。おおきにな。
His lips curled in a contented grin. You're very welcome. I grinned right back at him.
自分ええ子やな。
Ooh. Well, I'm certainly not a bad girl, but I don't know that I'm especially good either.
ほんまに
You can never judge a book by its cover. It's not too late to change your mind about me, you know? I smirked mischievously.
全然。ひいさんこそ僕なんかと付き合うて後悔してへん
Mm-hmm. I think it's a little premature for that. I'll need to wait until I know you a bit better.
あ、せっこそういう時は全然って可愛く言うのがええ子なんやで
Will you respond like a proper good girl? Not gonna happen. 全然ね。
そうそう
Just then Kaguya looked up as though he just remembered
ひい
something.
さんこの後もお仕事やろ
Mm.
時間は大丈夫なん
Oh crap. And by oh crap, I meant oh crap! I was having so much fun, I completely lost track of time.
そろそろ戻ろう
Yes, please. Before I could rise to my feet, he offered me a
お
hand.
手をどうぞお姫様
Oh. Thank you. Gosh, I really do feel like a princess. Hoping to contribute something in return, I reached to take his kimono off the bench and shake it out, but he beat me to the punch there too. He thinks of everything. As he brushed the dust from his clothes, he turned to me.
なあなあ今日自分の仕事終わるの待っててもええ
Sure. On the way back to the cafe, we engaged in lots of fun conversation. Oh, fuck, that's one of those longest trains. Oh, no, never mind, it's one of the shorter ones. I don't know, about 2 years now?
2年もやっとるからあんな慣れとるんやな
That's kind of you to say. How was the scone?
めちゃめちゃ美味しかった
I baked those myself, actually.
おおすごいやん
Oh, so Gretel doesn't exist in this?
ひいさんは可愛いだけやなくて料理も上手なんやな
No, nothing special. And yet I was gloating internally.
僕あの店好きやな
The food's nice, the uniform's sexy, and the manager... Well, the uniform's sexy, is it?
おもろい人みたいやしな
Yeah, Cinderella's a good guy. Really fun to walk with. Oh, but to be clear, you're a good guy too. You're really kind and you're always smiling. I figured I probably shouldn't gush about some other guy in front of my new boyfriend, so I added some compliments for him too. I bet the train used to be long, but the other was just left at the train station. No, it was actually one of those where you just, Wait. It wasn't a passenger train, it was one where you move a bunch of stuff. I'm missing the word, but I don't want to look it up right now. He smiled sheepishly. Of course I am, I really think you're great. Meanwhile, I shifted my attention to our surroundings. Look at all these women staring at Kaguya. I think I just heard someone say, check out that hottie. As I returned my gaze to Kaguya's perfect face, he blinked at me curiously. Oh, it's nothing. I turned back to the road ahead of us and came face to face with a young woman. Oh? Oh? Her surprise quickly shifted to fury and she stomped right up to us. One look at the glare in her eyes and I could already tell what was about to happen. She wasn't glaring at me, she was glaring at Kaguya. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! Do you know her, Kaguya? Despite our impending doom, I forced my tone to stay level. Uh-oh! Under pressure from the woman's glare and my question, Kaguya faltered and started to laugh nervously.
どちらさんでしたっけ
Ooh! The next thing I heard was an airy slap. He got slapped off screen! Kaguya, are you okay?
大丈夫や
Judging from the sound of his voice, he was anything but.
あなた彼の何
Well, who the fuck are you? Me? Well, his girlfriend, I suppose?
私も彼の彼女なんだけど
I smiled stiffly. This was exactly what I'd been afraid of. I see. So I take it you're mad because he's cheating on you.
はあ何冷静ぶってんの
Her anger was perfectly reasonably, of course.
Ne, どういうこと
Reasonable.
説明してよ私と付き合ってんのにこの女とも付き合ったっていうわけそれともこの女と付き合ってるのに
We
私とも
literally
付き合ったの
started dating like an hour ago, so...
ああ一応君の方が先に付き合ってたというか
You think?
一応何それ意味わかんない
I fear this is not the last woman that's going to show up.
それは
Kaguya glanced at each of us in
ゆ
turn.
りかちゃんかな
Excuse me? Flushed with rage, the woman raised her hand to strike once more. Wait, please. I grabbed her arm.
何よ
I won't deny it, what he's done is despicable and more than worthy of your retribution, but I'm partially at fault here myself. The fact of the matter is, unbeknownst to either of us, I stole him from you. I paused to take a breath. So if you're going to hit someone, hit me instead.
はあ何イコちゃんぶってんの
Well, I thought he was single
手出したんだよ
because he was literally just dumb, so this means he was dating at least 2 people. You're absolutely right, which is why I ought to be held accountable. So go ahead, hit me.
ゆりかちゃん
Damn. Is this the same one in the cafe? This is a new girl! No, this is a new girl. That's why. I relinquished my grip on her arm, closed my eyes, and gritted my teeth to brace myself for the impact. But the impact never came.
あ
The fuck?
あめっちゃ気持ちええわ
Kaguya sighed peacefully as he pressed an ice pack to his inflamed cheek. Does it hurt?
ちょっとな
Well, I'm afraid you'll just have to suck it up. Considering what he did to her, you got off easy.
せやな
He smiled stiffly as I fell silent. Then, to break the tension, he glanced around.
喫茶店の上の階はこないになっとるんやな
I walked down on the first floor and ran a room up here in a second. After the scandal, I brought Kaguya to my room. We've been together for less than a day and I've already brought him home with me. My grandmother would faint!
僕寮に上がってもよかった
Just so we're clear, I don't do this with all the guys. You're a special exception.
恋人やもんな
I prodded his cheek with my index finger. Because you're injured. Frankly, you were lucky she was willing to have mercy on you because she was entirely in the right. That said, I knew all along she wasn't going to take me up on my offer. Her first slap had already drawn a considerable amount of attention. If she went on to strike the sweet and innocent other woman, she would have caused even more of a scene.
分かってます浮気した僕が悪いんやって
He slumped his shoulders. Downright. I pulled the ice pack away from his face and cleared my throat. Okay, I promise I won't get mad, so please just be honest with me.
はい
How many other girlfriends do you have?
怒ってないん
At this point, I don't have the energy for it.
呆れとる
Suboshi.
それは悪いことしたな
This isn't funny, Kaguya. I put my hands on my hips. Do you really want to know about his past love affairs? Apparently not. No, we don't want to know. I admit I do have some questions, but there's no point in dredging up your history, so I won't ask. I just want to check.
はい
You have romantic feelings for me, yes?
もちろん
Am I the only girl you're currently seeing?
せやで
Are you sure about that? Okay then.
もうええの
Yeah. He stared at me slack-jawed. What's the matter?
てっきり自分にも振られる
Well,
かと思って
yeah,
へんか
but sadly, this is an Otome game, so I kind of cannot break it up with you unless I want to end with a bad end. Do you want me to?
ちゃうねんそうやなくて
I know. I exhaled slightly. Will you break things off with Kaguya? No. There's a save here, and then we say no again. I asked you if you have feelings for me and if I'm the only one you're seeing, and you said yes to both. So I let it go. Okay.
めっちゃええ子や
I stared hard at Kaguya, my brow furrowed. What, because my decision was convenient for you? That's not how being good works. Anyway, if I leave you to your own devices, there's no telling when someone will beat you black and blue. Just stay here until things settle down, alright?
はい
Eh?
容体は
Okay. He insists he's fine, but as far as I can tell, he might still have some residual swelling tomorrow.
自業自得だな。
After I returned to work, I explained the situation to Cinderella, who snickered.
言った通りだったろ。あいつは女をとっかえ引っかえしてるって。
There's nothing wrong with polyamory as long as everyone consents. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But everyone has to be consenting. Otherwise, it's just literally cheating on someone else.
されてたんだろ。
Right. Well, technically, I was more of a villain than a victim in this scenario, but
悪いことは言わねえ。傷つかないうちに別れちまえよ。
kind of hurts when Cinderella is the one who is actually making sense.
俺、なんか間違ってること言ってる。
No, you're absolutely right. No, I'd say that's a conclusion most people would come to.
なんだそれ。あんたは浮気されてもいいってのかよ。
Not especially. It's not that I approve of his infidelity, I just don't know him that well. That's why I'm not hung up on it. What? If I found out someone had cheated on their partner before, I would definitely not date them. The fuck? Long story short, I'm just not emotionally invested yet.
そりゃあんな唐突に付き合えばそう
Because
な
like
るだろ。
if you cheat on someone, if you have cheated on someone before, you will most likely do it again. How am I supposed to trust someone who has cheated before? Tell me, Cinderella, what is infidelity to you?
はあ？そりゃ浮気っていうくらいだから浮ついた気持ちであっちこっちにフラフラするってことじゃねえの？
Then wouldn't it apply to you since you're always out wandering around when you should be working?
俺をあんなのと一緒にすんな。
Smack. Ouch. He smacked me over the head. You're such a hypocrite, you know that?
このへりくつ娘、無駄話してる暇あったら手動かせ。
Yeah. Okay. And so we went back to work.
ああ、ひいさん、おかえり。
I'm all done with work. When I returned to my room, Kaguya greeted me with a
仕
smile.
事どないやった？疲れたやろ？肩もんだろか？
He slid an arm around my waist and guided me to the center of the room, where he sat me down and rubbed my shoulders.
お客さん、肩凝ってますな。この調子やと足とかも相
Well,
当
I
むくん
work
でる
all
んとちゃい
day
ますか？
standing. Oh, but they are, sir. I have to be on my feet all day at work, so I massage them myself every day.
僕、足のマッサージも得意なんです。今ならサービスでなんとただ。どうですか？
No thanks.
それは残念やな。
For me or for you?
もちろん僕が。
Oh, he likes feet. Okay. Thanks for the offer. I gently moved his hands away from my shoulders. I need to change out of my uniform, so could I ask you to leave? I gestured to the door.
わかったわ。
He left the room without complaint. I made sure the door was firmly shut and locked it for good measure. Ew. Having a sigh, I grabbed some loungewear from my closet. It was so quiet and peaceful, you'd never know anyone was in here just moments earlier. As I stripped off my uniform, I thought about Kaguya. What did he do in here while I was gone? I brought him tea and snacks during my last break, but he didn't seem to have touched them. I didn't notice anything out of place either. Did he just sit there and twiddle his thumbs the whole time? There we go. Once I finished changing, I opened the door. Sorry for the wait. What the? There was no one there. Kaguya? I called his name. No response. He's not trying to play hide and seek with me, is he? I cast my eyes all around the hallway. Was he going to jump out and scare me as a prank?
何やってんだ。
I'm missing my boyfriend. Just then Cinderella came up the stairs. Hey, have you seen Kaguya?
あいつだったらヘラヘラ笑いながら出て行ったぞ。
Okay, great. Thanks. Thank you. I bolted down the staircase at the speed of light. The winter sun was quick to set and the dark of twilight was settling in. Cutting through the crowds of people on the way home, I finally tracked him down. Kaguya! Fortunately for me, his strange attire made him stand out like a sore thumb, but the second I laid eyes on him, I shouted and waved. But the next instant, I stopped short and lowered my hand. He was smiling and chatting with a woman I didn't recognize. When he spotted me, he raised his eyebrows in surprise. I should ask you the same thing. You disappeared on me. I didn't mean literally. I just wanted you to stand in the hall until it was done. I glanced at the pretty lady standing next to him. Will you ask Kaguya about this other woman? Apparently, no. I don't agree with these choices, but okay. So you were helping her? Mm-hmm. Kaguya gave the woman a grin like, am I right? And she smiled vaguely in response. I'm pretty sure this lady was just looking for an excuse to talk to him. Aha, so where are you trying to go? For politeness sake, I donned a smile. Fortunately, her destination was a popular tourist location. I gave her directions and she quickly headed off. Take care! With a final wave to the woman, I turned back to Kaguya. At first thought it was a stupid question, but then I realized it wasn't. Did I need something? Well, no, I didn't. I was just... You disappeared, so I got worried. He inclined his head politely, then glanced up at the skies. The inky canvas above us was studded with little pinpricks of light. It sure has. Want to retract my statement about him being a good boy? I'll accept it. I'll accept it. Accept it. We're all suffering here. What is it, Kaguya? He stooped down until he was at my eye level, then stroked my hair. Jesus. I'm not used to the PS5 being here. It's like I keep accidentally hitting it with my foot. That's not good. It's not that late. Early evening at worst. You mean like you? That's what I was about to say. Just like... Oh, at least he's aware of it. I wonder how tall he is. Sure. Wait. Can I look up how tall he is without accidentally spoiling myself on his entire route? Height? Kaguya height? 177. That's not that tall. His birthday is 4 days after mine. He's younger than me. Hello, TK. Good evening. How are you? He's younger than me. He's 20. What the fuck? Wait, how tall is Yurika then? Yurika's 164. And Yurika's 17. I thought she was 90. What? Okay. Okay. I thought she was 19 with their... Oh, I'm barely legal, but they were talking about legal in Japan, so she would... Okay, she's only 17. Do you have plans after this, Kaguya? Do you have to get home by a certain time? With a smile, he proceeded to drop the biggest bombshell yet. I don't believe it either. I couldn't just leave Kagi out on the street, so for the time being I brought him back to the cafe for dinner. When I explained the situation to my dear landlord, unsurprisingly, he was less than amused.
いいか、犬猫じゃないんだぞ。人間だぞ
Hi,
人間
I found this guy on the street. Can I keep him? I know. As I got dinner ready, Cinderella breathed down my neck.
連れてきてどうすんだよ。まさか一緒に住む気じゃねえだろうな。
We have free rooms,
ここは同
right?
棲禁止だぞ。
Since when?
今俺が決めた。俺も住んでるってのにうるさくされたらたまんねえからな。
What? I really didn't want this conversation with my boss to get too personal, so instead I laughed awkwardly. To be fair, I don't think it would be unreasonable to move in with a new boyfriend on day one of our relationship. Feel like it's skipping a few too many oh wait, she does think it would be unreasonable. It's skipping a few too many steps.
んじゃ、飯食わせたら放置すんのか。
That strikes me as kind of inhumane. He is my boyfriend after all.
恋人っていうか、このままだと。
Mooch is in a deadbeat loser who leeches off of his girlfriend's money. I felt silent. Meanwhile, I put the food on a serving plate and handed it to Cinderella. Dinner's ready. Take it to the table with you.
俺を使うなよ。
It's not like you have anything better to do. He pinched my cheeks hard.
面白い顔。しょうがねえから運んで。
いいさん、僕が運んだるで。
Wait! Just then Kaguya turned up in the nick of time and snatched the serving plate away. Kaguya, your guest here. Just wait at the table like I said. As Cinderella continued to stretch my face. Wait. Can I say this? If I try to stretch my own face, hold on. Kaguya, your guest here. Just wait at the table like I said. Yeah, okay. Sound almost the same. As Cinderella continued to stretch my face out, I tried to protest, but as you can imagine, it was less than convincing.
そうなんやけどな。やっぱ何もせんでええっちゅうのは。
おい。
Hi.
僕ですか？
Do you see anyone else who he could be speaking to?
そうだよ。あんたは金。
Cinderella, that's so rude. I smacked him.
代わりに聞いてやってんじゃねえか。
I mean, he did buy us stuff, right?
金は。
He pulled a wallet from his sleeve and emptied its contents into the palm of his hand.
これしか持ってへんわ。
Uh-oh. Smack him. What is that, like $10?
おめでとう。芋、確定だな。
Thanks! Cinderella smirked and clapped me on the shoulder. Wait, what? If you're broke, then why did you pay for my lunch? Great, now I'm asking him rude questions. Granted, I had no idea, but still, I never should have let him buy me all that food.
ああ、せやな。
Oh. He casually evaded my question, but as I stood there panicking internally, it was Cinderella who put the final nail in the coffin.
お前、こんな金ないやつに払わせたのかよ。鬼だな。
I'll pay you back, okay? I'll pay you back, right now. I immediately made to run to my room and grab my wallet, but Kaguya seized me by the shoulder to stop me.
ああ、ええって。僕は自分の彼氏なんやから。
If you don't have the money,
で欲しい。
why would you pay? But...
いいじゃねえか。男を立ててやれよ。
Mm-hmm. With that, Cinderella walked past Kaguya to the dinner table. Meanwhile, Kaguya smiled at me awkwardly. Thank you, and I'm so sorry I didn't realize.
いやいや、ほんま気にせんでええから。僕の方こそ黙っててごめんな。
No, it's fine.
これ、テーブルに持ってったらええんやんな。
Yes, please. With a bright smile, Kaguya set about accomplishing a task I requested of him. Perhaps he was more level-headed and responsible than his looks would suggest. You know, ignoring all the money problems and lady problems.
あ、そうだ。
What is it? I stopped what I was doing and looked over.
2階に新しい住人が来たから。
Oh!
飯持ってってやれ。
It's gonna be Alice, isn't it? And problems! Huh? It's got to be Alice, right? I never imagined Cinderella would let someone new move in. According to him, the tenant was a guy named Alice. Woo! There he is! Knowing Cinderella and his proclivities, I was expecting some leggy blonde, but evidently not. Alice, dinner's ready. Hello, Alice. Sorry to bother you. Are you in there? Well, he is blonde. I tried knocking and shouting, but no one appeared. Hello, Alice. It's me, Arisu, from next door. I pounded my fist on the door. He's not answering. I'll just leave it here, okay? I couldn't find anywhere to set the food, so instead I dragged a small side table out from inside my room and used that. There, perfect. Oh, this Alice is also not coming out of his room? Okay. I returned to the first floor to find Cinderella and Kaguya waiting for me at the dinner table. Ooh. Evidently they'd chosen to wait until I returned before tucking into their supper. Sorry about that. Now let's eat. I hurried to my usual seat beside Cinderella and reached for my fork. Likewise, Kaguya did the same. Itadakimasu. And so we partook of our meal. I say we, but I was so curious to see Kaguya's reaction to my cooking I could scarcely eat a bite myself. He took a bite of the basil rice. You mean it? He's gonna say that about every single thing on the table, isn't he? Tonight we're having Asian cuisine. Basil rice, mizuna and tofu salad, Asian style veggie soup and almond jelly for dessert. As Kaguya ate cheerfully, Cinderella sat there sulking. What does that even mean? Chopped to bits? Does that mean he's happy? Nii-chan. I'm not your maid, Paul. Well, Cinderella. Maybe that's where his lady problems come from. He slept over one place here and one place there. One night here. I'm not your Paul, buddy. Good question. Every time I see someone say Paul, I'm reminded of Gumshoe, Ace Attorney Gumshoe. But Kaguya simply shrugged it off. I was starting to lose my pay. What? Hi! Welcome to the stream and thank you so much for the raid. Hi! Oh my god, you guys. Hi, Rib. Hi. Do I even give you a shout out? Does anyone here not know who Rip is? Anyway, here's your shout out. Oh my god, thank you so much for the raid. Also, Pikachu pulled the raiders. Pikachu. Pika Pika. Pikachu. Rip who? I don't know. I don't know any Rips. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Welcome. I don't know who Rip is. Hi. I never know what to say when I get rated. I'm newer. I play visual novels and RPGs mostly. I like the color pink. We are playing Taisho Alice, which is an otome game, which is in layman's terms a visual novel where you date guys. 10-10 introduction, yes! And we are trying to date the guy on the right. The funny thing is we started dating him like 2 minutes into his route because he was like, hey, do you want to go out with me? We said yes, but now we're finding out lots of stuff. Like, for one, he's homeless. 2, he doesn't have money. 3, he apparently is dating several women at once, so that's fun. I hope you're all having a nice Sunday evening. My tasting guys, you know, the other guy in this game, literally put us into a cage in a house that he locked the house was located in the middle of the woods. And he was also our adopted brother, so I take this guy. I'll actually take this guy. Yeah. Well, he's pretty at least, right? That's all that matters. He's pretty. I was starting to lose my patience. Cinderella, why don't we just hire him to work here? Yeah, wall.
I blow in your elbow so the pain goes away.
I mean, he could walk in and he could earn money. Cinderella let out a big exaggerated sigh. That's my Cinderella. He always one step ahead of me. Saves me so much time. Oh, she did that in a goo goo baby voice? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
That's my Cinderella. You're always one step ahead of me. Saves me so much time.
Okay, yeah, that creeps me out as well. And what are you going to do? Hmm? Are you going to sleep out on a bench somewhere? Out came the $10 and change from earlier. That's the only money you have. You can't just hand over your last dime. Sure you can. I brought you here as my dinner guest, not my customer. No, it isn't. Besides, this meal didn't cost that much to make. We won't accept your money. Right, Cinderella. And this Kaguya bowed politely. Was this a sigh of relief or a sigh of annoyance? I couldn't tell you. Oh. Well, couch surfing is a thing, yeah. What the hell happened to my notification bar? I'm so sorry, I just noticed this now. What the fuck? Don't mind me. Why? What happened here? That's not how it's supposed to look. Yeah, okay, this is fine. Okay.
Hello!
Hey, Sean, how are you? Outside? I looked at Cinderella. I can hear a cat. No? I can hear a cat. Cinderella, don't be such a jerk. Oh, maybe he does. Hmm? Huh? How do you react to Kaguya's hypothesis about Cinderella? You good, going holiday tomorrow. Oh, nice. Nice, nice. I'm doing good as well. I am having a bunch of fun with this game. Okay, we're supposed to deny this. Kaguya, since you're my boyfriend, I want to be clear with you about this. Cinderella's my boss and nothing more. I did my best to keep my expression neutral. After all, if I came off as panicky, my intentions could be misinterpreted. Yep. Right, Cinderella. I turned to Cinderella beside me. He was so uninterested in the conversation he didn't even meet my gaze. Not that I was hoping he'd be disappointed or anything, but it wasn't a very fun response now, was it? Well, we had our time to date him already. And the time we dated Cinderella, he was talking non-stop. So back to our earlier conversation. What are your plans for tonight? I'm asking if you really plan to waltz out of here and go sleep on the street.
僕は別にええよ。
Because that's not good for you? God, he's so freaking passive. He was a grown man, yet he was apparently incapable of making his own life decisions. I want to know what you want to do, Kaguya. Do you want to leave? I knew the conversation might start going around in circles, but I had to ask.
せやな。自分といたいかな。
There you have it, Cinderella. I want him to have his own room here.
あのな、
Failing that, he can move into my room with me
禁止って言ったろ。
and start allowing it. I stared him that in the
ダ
eyes.
メだ。
Two people can fit into that room. My heart stare shifted to puppy dog eyes.
その手は通用しない。
Oh. Wait, really? I was pretty sure you'd fall for it. Pressing a finger to my chin, I tilted my hat cutely.
わざとらしいんだよ。
Aww. Don't be rude. Yeah, I know, because I'm faking it on purpose. He suddenly smacked me upside the head. You're not supposed to hit a lady. Clutching my hat, I glared up at him.
自分らおもろいな。
Are we?
笑い事じゃねえよ。
Cinderella rounded on Kaguya, who immediately stood to attention.
はい。
で、あんたは何ができる？
僕は言われれば何でも。
料理も洗濯も。
I feel like if he actually starts working at the cafe, we're going to have a problem, because if all his ex-girlfriends set foot into this cafe and see him working there, there's going to be not fun things happening.
もちろん。
Scowling, Cinderella fell silent. Then
わ
finally,
かった。こっちの言うことを聞くな
ooh,
ら、あんたをしばらくの間、
you're
こ
good
こに置
dude,
いてやって
Cinderella.
もいいぞ。
おお。
Ooh. Kaguya and I were so surprised at Cinderella's sudden change of heart that we both burst into uproarious applause.
ただし、条件付きだ。まずは1週間のうちに。
1 month.
は
1 week is nowhere near enough time for him to get his act together. He needs a full month.
まあいい。じゃあ、期限は1ヶ月ということで。
Okay, so his route takes place over the course of 1 month.
は
I get it. Got it. I shot Kaguya a wink. He blinked back in
こ
surprise.
こに居座ってる間は、家事も洗濯も掃除も、店の仕事もしろよ。
Sounds good.
あんたの彼女と分担な
Sounds
ら
good.
楽勝だろ。
If he breaks a plate, it's off.
全部やってもええけど。
I can't have that, then I won't have anything to contribute.
というわけで、分担作業だ。どっちが何やるかは勝手に決めろ。で、最後に。
Is that legal though? If he just starts walking there. Cinderella glared at each of us in turn.
互いの部屋には
Aww.
入らないこと。
So you want us to make out outside of our rooms? I get it. I get it. So we get on not quite cohabitation. That night I stared down at the notebook on my desk. Dear Kaguya, as we head deeper into the winter, I'm ever grateful for your continued good health. No, I sound like a Jane Austen novel. I need to sound cute and girly. Then again, if I doodle hearts all over the place, I come across as an airhead. This is so hard. I groaned under my breath. It was my first time writing a letter, but this was a bit of a special case. Why are you writing a letter? Closing my eyes, I folded my arms in contemplation. Okay, got it. I opened my eyes, grabbed my pen, and started writing. Oh. Later, I took the notebook with me to Kaguya's room. Standing in front of his door, I took a deep breath, then... Huh? What the fuck are you wearing? Kaguya popped out of nowhere, startling me so bad I exhaled all at once. Kaguya, as we head deep into winter, I'm ever grateful for your continued good health. The first thing that came to mind was the start of my Jane Austen letter.
なんやそれ。ごめんな。驚かせてしもうた。
What is he wearing? It looks awful. I quickly looked away, hiding my notebook behind my bag. No, it's fine. So anyway, now that you're going to be staying here, is there anything I can get for you? Timidly, I looked up at him.
別にないな。
Uh-huh.
前の服もシンデレラさんに貸してもらったし。
It doesn't look good. Belatedly, I noticed his new outfit. He seemed a bit more put together now compared to when we... What? What part of the... Okay.
これシンデレラさんがこうだけど、着ひんかったもんなんやって。ええやろ?
It feels like the shirt is way too big on you. You look great.
よし。ほな、褒めてくれたお礼に自分の頭撫でたろうっと。よしよし。
Yes.
As he patted me, I bit back a derpy grin.
抱きしめたるわ。
Sure thing, go for it. Reflexively, I spread my arms out and my notebook came into view.
これは?
Poor boy has no fashion sense, absolutely not. As he grinned at me, I slumped my shoulders in resignation. It's a diary.
ひいさんの? もしかして
Oh, so she wants to write a diary where they, you know, exchange it? Yes, of course. I handed him the dark brown notebook.
ああ、ギニ。僕の名前?
Scrawled on the front was not just my name, but his as well. I stared back at him wordlessly. He seemed to take the hint because he opened the notebook and started flipping through. Hello! Dear Kaguya, hello! Wait, how much of that can I read? 今日からの2月です。Bunch of kanjis I do not know. 私とNo, I can't read that. I can't read Japanese. Konnichiwa! My name is Yurika and as of today I'm your new girlfriend. Ah, okay. Something with today. Yeah. 今日から Today also happens to be the same day we first met. Most people would probably think we're crazy for doing this, but personally I don't really care. Is it weird to agree to date someone this quickly? Do you think I'm weird or easy? Because for the record, I don't see you that way at all. I mean it. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're good. Wow. 私は I said that I think 女の子の同じYou're the first boyfriend I've ever had, so it might take me a while to learn. Oh no, never mind. It's the sign for man. If I do something wrong or something you don't like, please let me know so I can stop. I'd like to be as considerate as possible. At this point, you've probably realized by now, but this isn't just any diary. It's a letter addressed to you. It's called an exchange diary. That's what I was searching for. Basically, we each take turns writing messages to each other in the same notebook. Communication is essential to deepening our relationship, but since things will probably be awkward in person, I figured pen and paper might make it easier to open up. So long story short, I'd like us to get into the habit of using this exchange diary to write letters to each other. Oh, but obviously you don't have to if you really don't want to. It's just a suggestion. If you have any other ideas, I'm open to hearing them, considering that we've moved in together. I say we made a lot of progress, lol. LOL! LOL, she says. Anyway, I'd like to get to know you in whatever way suits you best. You're my boyfriend after all. 私の彼氏なんですから。I'm a total noob at this, but I'll do my best. Okay. では、2日ですか。これから試行しますね。That's cute. As he started to read it, I was overcome with such embarrassment I had to bury my face in my hands. When he finished, I peeked out at him through the gaps in my fingers.
これって
It's an exchange diary. Well, you see, as I've written in there, you and I only just met and we barely know each other, so I've been thinking about ways to fix that. I was scared a guy like him would roll his eyes at the concept of an exchange diary, but evidently I was worried for nothing.
ええな。これでひいさんともっ
Thank
と
you for the
仲良く
posture
なれる
check.
っちゅうわけやんな。日記なんて書いたことないからうまく書けるかわからへんけど、これから
Ow!
よろしゅうな。
Ooh. He accepted the notebook with a smile. That's nice. Oh! Oh, he has nice handwriting.
一日中あっても
Ow, that's
感じやな
just my fingers. It's fine. He sa. Konnichiwa. Oh, he's a nice handwriting. Hello there, puppet. Feels weird to be writing this, seeing as we already see each other all day long.
今日からひーさんと交
Oh
換
wait,
日記をするという
it's
ことで
voiced. Why am I reading it out loud? It's voiced. 今日からひさんと Me with the very little Japanese I can actually read. I should get back into trying to actually learn it. I had actually planned on going to a real course to learn Japanese when I was finished with school, but then Corona happened. There's probably some courses online, but it's like when, how? I need to actually physically work in a book to learn languages. I cannot do that kind of stuff online. It just doesn't work for me. But every time I can read a tiny bit of Japanese, I get so happy about it. And then I never try to study more.
いろいろ君のことを知っていけたらいいなと思っています
This is really nice paper though.
今後ともよろしくお願いします
よろしくお願いします。
Oh, I should have known that. でお願いします。
かぐや
かぐや。
Dear Kaguya, konnichiwa. You know, if it weren't for the cheers at the end, I'd almost forgot you had an accent. Silly, I know, but at the same time, it's kind of neat. Feel free to write about whatever you want. The day's events or even just things you haven't had the courage to say out loud. Personally, I plan to write about all sorts of stuff. From Yurika. That's so cute. I love this.
いいさんこんにちはイラストめっちゃかわいいな
イラスト。イラスト。
僕も真似して作ってみたんだけどどうかな
どうかな
かわいいね。
文章は関西弁じゃないって当たり前やん本当は笑ってる顔描きたかったんだけどなんかめっちゃ変になったごめん
It's a weird guy.
思ってても口に出して言えないようなことって
In it.
恥ずかしいないろいろと考えてみましたけどまず
Oh.
はここに僕の気持ちを打ち明けたいと思います
おお。
僕は君のことが好きです
Oh, excuse me.
一緒にいてくれてありがとう
ありがとう。
5 days had passed since I first met Kaguya. Early that morning, I headed down the stairs. And I mean early as in 5 a.m. You know, early as in 5 a.m., but actually nothing tops Color Malice. I think I said, I talked about this the last, when we played Cafe Enchant as well, but there's a scene in Color Malice where she gets woken up in the middle of the night. And like 3 or 4 a.m. and she's like, oh well, seeing as I'm awake anyway, I'll just get started on making breakfast. At 4 a.m. in the morning. And she just stays up and goes to work and everything, and every time I see it, I'm just like, why? If I wake up at 4 a.m., I try desperately to go back to sleep because I know I'll oversleep if I stay up, because then I feel tired by the time it's 7 a.m. again, and that's when I would normally have to get up. The winter sun was slow to rise and the sky was still dark. Nevertheless, I could hear the faint stirrings of someone who had somehow started his day ahead of me. Good morning, Kaguya.
おはようさん
Why are you awake at 5
かわい
a.m.?
いな
Thanks, you're looking quite handsome yourself.
おおきに
It wasn't even sunrise and yet he was already busily cleaning the cafe. I took a deep breath and forced myself to focus. Say, Kaguya. You know I'm on cleaning duty today, right?
Ah, そやな。
So why, pray tell, are you doing my job?
ごめんごめん。つい朝早く起きてしもうて。
Well, go try again, right now. I snatched the cleaning cloth away from him. Imagine sleeping till 5 AM. This voice was way better. My cats wake me up really early. I'm sorry.
そやけど。
I'm the type of person who can sleep through pretty much anything, so if I wake up in the middle of the night, it's very weird for me. He smiled awkwardly at me and I started to feel guilty for snapping at him. Okay, fine, go ahead and finish it. I handed the cloth back to him.
おおきにいいさん。
Honestly, I'm the one who ought to thank you. Look, Kaguya, I understand you want to be helpful, but please don't overwork yourself.
気つけるわ。
After Kaguya moved in, my workload lightened a fair bit. He was quite proactive in cleaning, laundry, and all sorts of other tasks. For the most part, it was great, really. There was just one small problem. Good afternoon! Good afternoon! It is 9 PM where I'm at, but good afternoon to you. Hope you're good. You want the Uber voice for the next 2 minutes?
Okay, Uber voice for the next 2 minutes. Here we go. Uber.
お株を奪われたな。
Oh, shut up. I refuse to admit it. Cinderella smirked as he sliced into a rush of bacon.
そないなことあらへんって。ひいさんは僕なん
He's
か
like,
より
ah, damn it. Someone's doing my
料
job.
理もうまいしな。
And he's doing it better than I do it. Thank you. Today we're having an authentic English breakfast. Beans and toast. Juice, cereal, eggs, bacon, and grilled tomatoes. Why? I never actually tried a traditional English breakfast because it sounds very unappetizing to me. Like, there's so many things. Like, beans and toast sounds like the worst place ever. Like, honestly, if I want to eat in the morning, cereal is a valid breakfast. So if I already eat cereal, I don't need all that other stuff, right? It's like either cereal or toast or eggs and bacon, I guess. But not all of it together.
お前も料理くらい作れるだろう。
Cinderella glanced up at Kagi as he stepped his eggs with a fork.
作れへんってことはないけど。
Kaguya paused and looked at me. As our eyes met, he cocked his head and smiled.
ひいさんの美味しい手料理。毎
Aww.
日食べたいしな。
Hehe. I giggled.
あっそう。
Cinderella scolded. Here, Kaguya, let me get the soy sauce for you. Where do you need a soy sauce on a traditional English breakfast? Now that I was in a better mood, I felt like doing something nice for him.
おおきに。
俺には
Here, I offered him the steak sauce.
そうっす。
Oh, are you a steak sauce on your eggs person? Here. I promptly handed the bottle to Kaguya instead.
おい。
じゃあね。ほんまにソース派なんておんねんな。
Wait, people put-
だけやねん。
People put sauce on their eggs? People put sauce on their eggs? I'm seriously asking this as a person who cannot and does not eat eggs. Some people eat the eggs with maggi. The only thing I think is probably ketchup. Okay, like, I guess, you know, with omurice, I can accept ketchup, but, like, if that's considered a sauce, yeah, it is. I'd consider ketchup a sauce. What? Why would you put soy sauce or steak sauce on eggs? What? Is that normal? Please tell me that's not normal. With a smile, Kaguya passed the steak sauce back to Cinderella.
なんかバカにしてないか。
してへんしてへん。
No, I'm just... Personally, I prefer my tamago sunny side up with shoju on top.
わざわざ英語なんか使うな。この外国かぶれ。
This is so funny. For every time Every time she says something in Japanese in this release, she originally said it in English in a Japanese version. Soy sauce and eggs is typically reserved for fried rice. Yeah, but they're having a traditional English breakfast. What the fuck? A little Japanese never hurt anybody, right, Kaguya?
せやな
Nayana. As you can see, our new arrangement was working out pretty well. After a few days, Cinderella's anti-Kaguya bias faded considerably, and their interactions had grown more friendly. That's nice. I think his suspenders still look weird. As for the cafe, well,
いらっしゃいませ
in contrast with his leisurely appearance, Kaguya is actually quite the hard worker, and his friendly personality quickly made him popular with the regulars. However,
かぐやさん
なんなんどないしたん
かぐやちゃんこっちもかまって
もうちょっと待っててな
okay. There was now a critical influx of mostly female customers who visited specifically to see him. Given his good looks, they were willing to dismiss his peculiar clothes as an endearing quirk of his. Plus, with his compassion, thoughtfulness, and a cute little mischievous streak, he was an instant hit with women of all ages. His popularity was understandable, of course, and a good thing, really. But since he was my boyfriend and all, I couldn't help but worry.
いいさん注文はい
Got it. That said, his popularity directly translated to more profit for us. So I can't be all that mad about it. Phew. After a lunch rush, the customers began to thin out. I had just finished doing the dishes when Kaguya walked in.
いいさん
Yo,
どないしたん元気ないな
you think so?
見える見えるその原因当てたろか
Go for it.
嫉妬
Ding ding ding! Winner chicken dinner. I clapped my hands. You're quite a hit with the ladies, huh? The sarcasm wasn't unintentional either. I was testing him to gauge his reaction.
ひいさんは可愛いな
You're popular with the ladies,
今
huh?
しなくなったわ
However, it didn't have the desired effect. Quite the opposite, actually. Somehow he knew exactly what to say to play me like a fiddle. He allowed to hug me, you know. I spread my arms wide. Of course, you're my boyfriend.
じゃあ
We're at work, though. But just as he reached out to pull me into his arms... Hold it. I took half a step back. On second thought, I'm gonna have to stop you right there. We can't flirt while we're on the clock. It's disrespectful to our customers! I was very clearly being a brat to him on purpose, but he didn't seem to mind in the slightest. In
じ
fact...
ゃあ今度誰もおらんと
Oh!
恋人らしいことしようか
How he said that with a straight face, I'll never know. Yeah. Externally, I remained composed, but internally I was trying to figure out what he meant by get real
い
flirty.
やそない警戒せんでもエッチなことはせえへんから
Help. I mangled yelp on its way out of my mouth. Hi, Blue. Hi, how are you? Good evening. Don't love.
ごめんごめんいやあの時のひいさん
You're good. I'm glad. I'm not so good. I'm very much enjoying myself in this game. This isn't funny. I pouted my
めっ
lips.
ちゃ可愛い
Aw, that's not gonna work on me, mister. But on the inside, it was totally working. A lady's heart is complex, you see. After dinner, we stepped out for an evening stroll. Evidently, Kaguya's idea of flirty was to go on a date. Oh, well, okay.
寒うない
He doesn't have money to go anywhere, but okay. No, we're fine. Nevertheless, Kaguya put his shawl over my shoulders. Wait, what part of this outfit is supposed to be the shawl, the yellow thing?
我慢せんでええって女の子やし言えたらあかんやろ
Is that a shawl? What about you?
僕は男の子やし
You're already loving this game. Well, I'm scared of what's going to happen on his route. You see that tiny little trigger warning up there? I don't know when, but I put it there because Google said, be careful with that. It's like no, not in that sense. Not in that sense. It's like you always have the same characters, but for
if you're on their own route, it's always a bit different how they act and what their backstory is like. And like it's not a very happy story, I guess. Like in the end you always date them and it has a happy ending, but they have pretty interesting backstories sometimes. Why are you blushing? He is cute. I pressed a hand to his arm. Is this helping?
もうめっちゃ体中が熱くてかなわへんわ。
Ooh. But it's not like Doki Doki where you know, they suddenly read out your name from your computer files and everything goes wrong because one character is obsessed with you, the player, or something. He adjusted his grip on my hand, gently lacing our fingers together. It was a classic boyfriend-girlfriend handhold. Wow. So you're saying you need to be boyfriend and girlfriend to hold hands? I see how it is. Hmm? Yeah. Me playing otome games where they're very much made so you can be a girl dating a guy versus me being who I am. Mad at the straits. Speed dating. Behind my smile, the words echoed in my mind. We'd only known each other for a few days, and yet we'd already progressed to, well, this. Well, if handholding is illegal... Ah, I see. We still didn't know each other all that well, but here we were, holding hands on a date, and living together, no less. Naturally, I couldn't pretend I wasn't attracted to him. He was my boyfriend, after all. I loved talking to him, and the mere act of holding hands was enough to set my heart aflutter. Of course, I wasn't about to immediately jump into bed with him, but still, we were doing plenty of other romantic things. The one thing that set our relationship apart was the extremely short time it took to get to this point. In other words, we didn't really have much of a one-sided crush phase. Did that make our romance somehow less valid? No. The guide said I should say yes. Huh? You're a character in an otome game, you are very much pretty? Was a good question, perfect timing too. I know, right? And we only just met too. I felt silent for a moment and decided to be honest with him. Well, it's because I was curious about you. Yeah, I'd only known you a few minutes and yet I wanted to know more. Just like that, you captured my interest. Exactly. Yeah. Maybe. How'd you know? I shot him the finger guns. I don't know why it is the finger guns in this game. Do you normally say I shot him the finger guns? Don't you normally say you shoot someone finger guns? The finger guns? I should Google this. Every time she mentions the finger guns, I have the same thought. What made you so curious about Kaguya? I decided I like him. I liked him, apparently. Well, I've taken a liking to you, obviously. Well, it certainly is something you don't see every day. Carl, hey! Hi, good evening! I'd say I shot them the finger guns. Okay, you would also say the finger guns? Okay. Hi, Carl! Hey! At least you're self-aware, I guess. Listen, Carl, it's your fault. I spent like 2 hours today playing Power Wash Simulator. I only wanted to do one thing, and then I started on another. Everything is so dirty. Come to think of it, why did she dump you anyway? Do I want to know? Just for future reference. Power Wash Simulator, yep. Not bad, huh? He smiled sadly. Well, as curious as I am, I suppose it's not directly relevant to the subject at hand, so let's leave it at that. Turns out he's actually a well-known criminal and people are searching for him. I don't know. I whacked my index finger at him. This isn't a one-sided lecture. This is a discussion between equals. The more we communicate, the more we come to understand one another. Communication! In my anime dating game!
Is that the game or something in the background? It's spooky. No, that's... I live next to train tracks. I'm sorry. That's just the trains running by my window. I'm sorry about that.
せやな。
Now back to your question. Why do you think I would take a liking to you given the circumstances under which we met?
僕がタイプやったん？
Precisely, you were my type.
見た目が？
Well, yes.
どうしたん？
That makes me sound very shallow. Yeah, does that make me shallow?
別に思ってへんや。それ言うたら、僕だって会うたばかりのひいさんに告ったわけやしな。
What about you? Why did you ask me out?
それはもちろん。
Physically.
やけど、僕はひいさんの性格も好き。
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being attracted to someone because of their looks initially. I mean... even though you barely know me.
僕は自分と一緒におって、こうして話す
Aww.
のもめっちゃ楽しいし。
Loki expecting to be a jump scare.
見た目以上に
No, no, no.
いっぱい見つけたと思う
There's no
んで
jump scares in this game, no. It's all, it's mostly very low-key. It just suddenly, it starts building up slowly. That there's something wrong. But there's no jump scares or anything. No, no, no. I very much dislike jump scares. I wouldn't stream something like that. After a moment of silence, I burst out laughing. The only jump scares are the friends we I think I'm starting to understand why people like you, women especially.
あれ前にも言わへんかった？いつもニコニコして素敵やーって。
Nico Nico ste. You're always smiling.
There's that, but now I've nailed it down a bit more. See, you're really good at reading people's body language. You can tell what people want from you. That's how you always manage to be so considerate and thoughtful. Granted, on the other side of the coin, you could say he was a people pleaser with a terminal fear of being disliked.
ひいさんは頭がええからな。
Building up slowly, yep. Except for Gretel. Gretel just straight up went all in. I guess. Smarter than I look, I know. I get that a lot.
おまけに素直やし。
Not always. I can lie when the situation calls for it. I want you because you got that something that I need.
ええやん。
Oh,
そういうとこもめっちゃ好きやで。
thanks. If anything, the real challenge will be staying together. We still barely know each other. All we can do is keep spending time with each other and making memories until eventually we fall in love for real.
つまり、ひいさんにほんまに好きになってもらうためには、僕の努力が必要っちゅう話やんな。
Yes, 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 yes.
Yep, and the same goes for me. If I want you to fall in love with me for real, then I'll need to put the equivalent amount of effort into the relationship. Equivalent exchange. Hopefully none of us lose an arm.
僕は今のままでも十分ひいさんのことを大好きやで。
Well then, I'll just have to make you fall even harder. I shot him a playful wink.
せやな。
I have never seen Full Metal Alchemist.
僕ももっともっとメロメロになりたいわ。なあ。
Or read it, for that matter. His voice suddenly shifted down an octave and he stopped short. Yeah? Likewise, I stopped and turned back to face him. Oh, what's happening? Behind him, I could see a crescent moon hanging in the sky. Oh, the moon! Alongside the moon, the sky was decorated with a smattering of stars. Feels like it's been a while since I really looked at the moon. Then Kaguya took his mask off and put it on my head and said, "Wait, what? What was that for?" With most of my vision now blocked, I could no longer see the moon, just a sliver of Kaguya. Confused, I flinched back, but since we were holding hands, I wasn't going anywhere. The fuck? This looks very awkward. On the contrary, the distance between us was slowly shrinking. Eventually, all I could see was his face, and then... Is he giving us a kiss over the mask? And it fades to black! Huh. I let a depressed sigh. It was evening and the sky outside the window was draped in twilight. As for the cafe, only one table had any customers. Since there was nothing left for me to take care of in the dining area, I took out the trash and started to clean the kitchen.
おい
Yo!
おーい
Ouch. Someone smacked me over the head. I looked at tears in my eyes. That's not very nice.
なんかあったのかよ
No idea what you're talking about. This was, of course, a bold-faced lie, but I decided to play dumb regardless.
ごまかすななんか朝からてか昨日の夜から
Well, yeah,
なん
my
かおかしいだろ
boyfriend put his mask on my face and then kissed the mask and not me? Acting weird. Not sure what you mean. I don't recall zoning out or dropping any plates or anything. As far as I could remember, I hadn't made any glaring mistakes at work
こ
today.
んなことしやがったらあんたが正
Oh,
気
okay.
に
We
戻るまで
we didn't
ぶっ
actually
叩
do.
いてやる
Okay.
よ
What? Like I'm an old TV? That's not going to fix me.
試してみるか
Nope, absolutely not. No, thank you.
そういうところはいつも通りなんだ
I'd rather not get hit over the face more than is needed. He sighed. Likewise, I sighed too. Cinderella, will you pinch my cheeks as hard as you can?
ほらいいよ
He actually does it. Ow! He stretched my face out as far as it will go. You really don't know how to treat a woman gently, do you?
あんたが思いっきりって言ったん
Yeah,
だ
but
ろ
I meant like small pinch and then be done with it. Yeah, but I didn't mean that hard. I knew he was doing his best to hold back, but still, I would have liked him to be a bit more gentle.
んじゃもう一度やる
No, 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 no. That's not necessary.
何してはるの
I was so startled I dashed around and hid behind Cinderella like a spooked rabbit.
おい
The fuck? Ooh.
何の用だとよ
Red-faced and flustered, I could barely get a single word out. Fortunately, I had Cinderella on hand to translate for me.
そない逃げんでもええやん
How was that an ICE? That was literally the slowest train I've ever seen in my life. Unable to meet his gaze, I concealed myself behind Cinderella, my mouth opening and closing wordlessly like a fish. Meanwhile, Kaguya sighed sadly.
お客さんももうすぐ帰りはるみたいやしそろそろ店じまい始めてもええですか
Yeah, sure, I guess.
おう頼むわ
Paul. Buddy, Paul. Yeah. Once I made sure Kaguya was gone, I gasped for breath like I'd just come up for air. When I finally raised my head, I found Cinderella staring down at me.
俺が言いたいことわかるよな
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ああせや
なおいなんなんだ
But why is she running away now?
おいお前あいつになんかし
I
た
don't get it. Before I knew what I was doing, I dashed all the way up to the second floor. Clutching my head, I groaned and whimpered, pacing pointlessly back and forth. From an outsider's perspective, I must have looked ridiculous, but it was all I could do to keep myself from imploding. This was the weirdness Cinderella had picked up on, my behavior around Kaguya. I knew it was being obvious, blatantly obvious, but after that spectacular night, I just didn't know how to act around him anymore. Why? Whenever I looked at him, my mind flashed back to what happened and all my composure went right out the window. I thought she literally couldn't see anything because she had that weird mask on. So why? Okay. Obviously, I knew I needed to keep my personal life separate from my work, but whenever I let my guard down, well, you saw what happened back there. Oh, wrong button. As for the details of what exactly happened that night, he kissed me. Through the mask. Yeah, I know, that's what I keep saying. Through the mask. She's just dreaming. A kiss through the mask, so what's so bad about it? Another vivid flashback shot through my mind. The cringe was so intense, I curled into a fetal position and rolled around on the floor. In my mind I was screaming, calm down, be chill, but I just couldn't get it out of my head. Yes, I knew just how ridiculous I was acting, but I was still only 19. There we go, see, she's 19. She's 19, not 17. Why did that thing say she's 17? That I saw earlier. The fuck? She's 19. Okay, that's okay. I could dish it, but I couldn't take it. I had trouble reacting to anything I wasn't outright expecting. Burying my flushed face in my knees, I began to hyperventilate. Oh! Yurika, calm down. Deep breaths. Just then I heard the sound of the door opening. That's gonna be Alice, isn't he? Isn't it? Oh, yeah, it's you. And out walked an attractive blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy. Who's got... Okay, I give him 3 text boxes before he says something rude about us. I lose. What? Naturally, the first thing he said to me was an ableist slur. Thanks, Alice. Appreciate it. I don't know why I thought it would take him 3 full text boxes to just start going off on me. Live out in the boonies where your only neighbors are twice as loud as you. Aww. You don't have any dark circles under your eyes drawn the way that Red did, so you're still good. Yeah, I see them. He reminds me of Kazuma? Which Kazuma do you mean? Oh no, you poor soul. Oh, I'm sorry. From Konosuba. I have not seen Konosuba. Is that the main guy? The brown-haired one? Dippy. What is this, the 1950s? I am cooking like a normal person. What the fuck are you on about? What do you mean? He doesn't hold back on calling others out. I wouldn't know. All I know about Konosuba is that this one girl can apparently use some kind of fire magic and go explosion, and that's it. That's all I know about Konosuba. I wasn't trying to show off. Huh? No, I just generally enjoy cooking for others. I said to him steadfastly, "Do you not enjoy my cooking?" Then why have you been complaining about it? Solution, serve him gruel, straight up axe and bread. Maybe rice if he's nice. No, he doesn't like rice. He's team bread. He's team bread. Remember what he said on Cinderella's route? He's team bread. He doesn't want good food, so he won't get good food. He will get stale bread. Stale bread I forgot to take out of the oven. And he gets rice out of spite. Not alright, but you're certainly implying it. And if you're not enjoying it, then I want to know. Aha! You looked away, that means you like it. Out of spice. Out of sight, out of mind. Funny how you always manage to clean your plate. Thank you so much for the hydrate time. Just a second. I will hydrate in a second. You know this voice. Of course you do. Of course you know his voice. You know his voice because Alice is voiced
by Matsuoka Yoshitsugu. I cannot tell you what else he did though. Why do I know him? Matsuoka Yoshitsugu. Why do I know that guy? Matsuoka Yoshitsugu. What else have you done that I know? What? He holds the Guinness World Record for the largest number of lines performed by a single voice actor in a mobile game. The game being Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Memoria Freeze. Okay. Good for him. What has he voiced that I know? Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. How come? No! Hanazawa Teruki in Mob Psycho! Of course! Of course. Ah, the main character in No Game No Life, Sora. Ah, that's why! That one has a very similar tone of speaking. That's why he is Soma from Shokugeki no Soma, the main character. Of course. Kirigaya Kazuto in Sword Art Online, to whoever has seen Sword Art Online. That, I don't know, I have not seen that. Yeah. He definitely has some voices. The Good Boy Teru. Yes! The Good Boy Teru. I miss Mob Psycho. I miss Mob Psycho. It was so good. So good. Oh really? Is that out of respect for the chef? The food itself or for the people who go hungry every day?
君はバカか。僕がそんなことを考えながら食べているわけないだろ。どれもバカバカしい自分よがりな考え方だ。自己満だ。英語だ、英語。ついでに言うならば、もったいないからとか貧乏くさい思考もない。すでに腹が満たされているというのに完食することに意義なんて
Well, I always try to clean out my plate though. Because someone went to the trouble of making food for me, so you do it because it tastes good. It's also the voice of Belle Crane. Okay, I don't. Where's that? Who's that? Belle Crane? Danmachi. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. If he holds the world record for most lines in a mobile game or something, and that one is Danmachi, then that would make sense. Oh! You don't like European food, huh? What, like Big Macs? I feel like I'm missing a joke here. I feel like I'm missing a joke here. So far what I'm getting from this is that you'd like to have some simple meals now and then in addition to the fancy stuff. Well, you know, it's kind of refreshing to see that at least Alice stays the same no matter what route we're on. He's still mean all the time. Who, me? I don't have an ego. Gee, thanks. This was my third time getting my cheeks pinched today. Okay, but if the meal has a stupid French name, then please don't tell me. I cannot pronounce French stuff. I have never learned French. I will never learn French. I refuse to learn it, and every time a very good friend of mine who speaks French sees me try to pronounce any kind of French word, she will laugh at my expense. Because she's like, how can you pronounce one word so wrong? And I'm just like, then why do they put a bunch of stuff in there that you don't actually pronounce? Like even the English word Q. Why is there ooey in there? You only say Q. Either way. Alright then, I take that to mean you won't need any dessert either, right? Since dessert is a French word. The other letters are waiting their turn. He's a crazy guy in ReZero. Now I ruined his character. I have not seen ReZero. Ah, there's so many animes I still haven't seen. I watched like the first episode some years ago when it first came out, but I don't know. I couldn't get into it, but maybe now I can appreciate it. Stop! Make it 4 cheek pinches. Alice, you're such an ass.
何がひどいだ。被害者ぶっているが、君は加害者の立場。
How the fuck you just started going off on me? Okay, so you are Alice. Nice to meet you, I guess. Oh, right, we have never met each other. My name's... He locked the door. In front of our face? Rude. John Cena! No, John Cena's not in this. Feeling defeated, I trudged down the stairs. Right when I was finally lucky enough to meet my mystery neighbor, he turned out to be a gremlin. On the upside, however, I was a lot calmer now. Sure, he was rude, but his complaints themselves were still justified. The fact of the matter was I was being obnoxious and I needed to stop. I clapped myself on the cheeks to psych myself up. On the cheeks? After you got your cheeks pinched 4 times? Alright, I can do this. I can't just mope around forever. Here I am. What the fuck? Right as I burst into the kitchen, however, I saw Kaguya go flying across the room. Huh? He crashed into a chair, bringing it with him to the floor. The fuck? Kaguya? What's going on? As I hastily helped him up, I found he was somehow still smiling. You're bleeding. Blood trickled from his mouth, probably from cutting his lip on his teeth. What the f— Yes, it is. I pressed my handkerchief to his lip. I can wash it. That's what they're there for. Why was he flying across the room? The fuck? Huh? My heart skipped a beat. Can someone please tell me what's going on? I looked from Kaguya to Cinderella, who was just standing there idly. Why? And why did you do that? I did my best to keep my voice level. Huh? And by that you mean, what happened last night? He gave me a kiss. Forced himself on me. I mean, sure, it was forceful, but he's my boyfriend, and besides, it was just a kiss. Yeah, that's it. It was just a kiss, no big deal. But that was no big deal. Hardly more than a greeting in some countries. I tried to stay calm, but my voice came out in a strained yelp. Listen, he gave me a kiss. Then he gave me this weirdly compassionate look. He gave me a kiss, and it was through the mask. Technically, we were even adhering to Corona guidelines. I'm really not, though. He pulled me close and patted me on the head. Okay. Enough of what? Never in all the time I'd known him had he ever treated me so kindly. I was so stunned I just sort of let it happen, but it kind of felt like there was some sort of misunderstanding, or was I overthinking it? I must start laughing. He used his sleeve to wipe my spit off his face. Cinderella, my friend, I think maybe you've got the wrong idea. He gave me a kiss! I think your imagination is getting a little carried away, you perv. He didn't! It was just a kiss, a little smooch, a peck, and it wasn't even on the lips, there was a mask between us. Huh? Like I said, we were adhering to Corona guidelines. The 3 types of what, in a nutshell? Cinderella shoved past me and grabbed Kaguya.
おいかぐや、こいつの言ってることは本当か？
え、せやで。
お前、説明が足りねえんだよ。
Oh! He shook Kaguya vigorously by the shoulders. Cinderella, don't. He's injured.
おっと、すまね
あ、いた。
Oh, Cinderella let go of him. He slammed headfirst into the wall. By the way, Cinderella is voiced by Daisuke Namikawa. I think that's his name, Daisuke Namikawa, right? So, no, yes, Daisuke Hirakawa. Oh, Hirakawa, not Namikawa. I'm so sorry. Daisuke Hirakawa, who is also the voice of Rei in Free, for example. He has voiced a bunch of other things, but I can always remember him best as Rei from Free. Cinderella let go of him. He slammed headfirst into the wall.
あれだ。悪いな。
Vanina. He held up his hands in a defensive pose.
ああ。
Well, I mean, I'm glad Cinderella cares so much for us.
悪いは変わらへんし。
Kaguya smiled weakly. No, you didn't. You didn't mess up at all. I'm the one who got all freaked out about it for no reason. He usually voices characters that I don't really care for that kind of character. Aww. Wait, but who voices Kaguya? Masuda Toshiki? Who's that? Who's that? I don't know that guy. Doesn't ring any bells, at least. Masuda Toshiki. Hold on. Really recognizable voice. That's true. That's true. Hi. Who? Masuda Toshiki. Who are you? Ah, Kirishima. Kirishima? From Boku no Hero Academia? What? No way. I got freaked out. I paused to examine my own statement. Huh?
いや、悪い。つい。
Cinderella pressed a hand to his mouth, shoulders shaking, but I already saw his grin and I knew what this was about.
だってさ、あんた、すっげえ様子がおかしかったし、きっとなんかあったんだと思ったら、
Hey, I'm gonna punch you next.
ただのキスとか、それもお面越しって、どんなガキだよ。
He burst into a fit of laughter, pointing at me with one hand, clutching his side with the other. Rude! I pounded my fist on his chest in protest, but it was too late. He couldn't stop. He laughed and laughed until he was practically crying. Alright. Just then I remembered I was supposed to go and help Kaguya to his feet. God, I don't know what to say except I'm so sorry. How is this the same guy who voices Kirishima from Boku no Hero Academia? Enoshite Chikaru from Haikyuu. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyone else? A guy from Kuroko's like 3rd season. Don't remember him or his voice. He definitely... Oh! Token Rambu. He has voiced one of the swords that are definitely well known. Oh, interesting. Kirishima though. Huh. Okay. Cinderella, I don't know how to tell you this, but you kind of made a big deal out of this too. That's true. What? Woman protect until it's time to... Oh. Wow, you're not cutting him any slack, huh? You're not cutting the guy any slack. Like, I understand, but... Okay, this thing is broken once again. Love that.
あの時ひいさんが可愛くて可愛くてついキスしてもうたけど
I mean, it was just a kiss. That's okay.
ひいさん恥ずかしがって僕のこと見てくれへんし話しかけただけで飛び上がるしそりゃ恥ずかしがってるひいさんもめっちゃ可愛いけどやっぱり
I'm more surprised that you can actually see something through the eyes of that mask. I didn't realize the tiny black spots on the eyes were real holes you could look through.
ごめんな
In that moment, my chest ached as though my heart was in a vice. My pulse was racing and my cheeks were
どうした
flushed.
ん
I think I might love you?
僕も自分のこと
Kaguya! I leapt into his
なん
arms.
だこれ
Yeah, that's what I'm asking myself as well.
つまり
The fuck?
当て馬ってことじゃない
Why are you here? When did you get here?
ゲセネって白雪お前いつの間に
The fuck?
ただいまところでお客さんが困っていたけど
あ
It's like the Spider-Man mask, I guess. Thank you for coming. We hope to see you again soon. Phew. Once the last customer was gone, I heaved a sigh of relief.
たくあんたらのせいで危うく店の評判を落とすとこだったぜ
You punched him? I'm sorry.
ほんますんませんでした
The two of us knelt on the floor, humbling ourselves. Apparently, those customers were waiting to get their checks the entire time. Naturally, they heard everything we were saying in the kitchen, and they were rather alarmed. Fortunately, they were quick to forgive us in the end, but I still felt bad.
罰は全部僕が引き受けます
Kaguya. I glanced over to find him smiling faintly.
僕が全部悪かったんですそもそも僕がホールを離れなければこのようなことにはならんかったわけやし
Normally, his smile would come across as flippant in a situation like this one, but I knew better. I could see his fist trembling in his lap. You can see his fists? Because I can't.
罰って言ってもな
自分だって忘れてたんでしょ他人を責める資格
まあな確かに俺も悪かったよ
So who's Snow in this situation? Why is he suddenly here?
大体この店は趣味で経営してるわけだから評判とか利益とか
それもそうだなとりあえずこの話はやめだやめ
Like, at this point, I won't be surprised if Snow also ends up being some kind of weirdo. Like, I mean this in the nicest sense I can possibly say it, but like, all of these people are somehow weird. So I wonder what it is with Snow White when we date him.
あんたらもあんま気にするな俺も気にしねえよ
And as I placed a hand over Kaguya's trembling fist.
ひいさん
Let's just make sure it doesn't happen again, okay? I smiled, hoping to reassure him.
せやな
We got to our feet and turned to the guy who saved our bacon. Thank you for defending us, Snow White.
別に
Bethany? He turned away, cool as ice. Aha, of course he's cool as ice. Bethany? Late in the kitchen. Actually, I was more expecting Snow White to be the guy who goes full on yandere. So if Gretel already did that, I guess he won't. We were all seated around the dining table. I was sitting next to Kaguya, across from us sat Cinderella and Snow White. Now that everything's calmed down, allow me to introduce you. Snow White, this is my boyfriend Kaguya. I gestured energetically to Kaguya next to me.
さっきとはえらい態度が変わったな
You know what they say, women are as variable as April weather. Then again, it's winter right now.
ああはいはい
どうもはじめまして僕はかぐやと言います
If the wizards also start showing up in this route, then I guess we'll have almost a full cast. Kaguya held his hand out for a handshake.
白雪だよよろしく
While Snow introduced himself in kind, he did not accept the proffered hand. Wait, the what hand? The what hand? The proffered hand? No, I read correctly. Never mind then. He didn't even meet Kaguya's gaze.
ああ、気にすんな。こいつは誰に対してもこうだから。
そうですか。
Kaguya nodded and lowered his hand. So you're Cinderella's younger brother? This was the extent of what I knew about Snow White. Ah, so that's still a thing in this route, okay.
まあな。
This is actually only the second time I've met him.
そうなんや。
気まぐれでな。普段は実家にいるんだ。
Aha, and him staying at the mom's house, that's also a recurring theme. We had that in Cinderella's route as well. Snow White glanced in Cinderella's direction, then immediately looked away.
おい、答えろよ。
まあええやん。それって帰ってくる場所があるってことやろ。
True.
帰ってくる家ね。そういや、あんた家なしだったな。
せやな。
Well, you have one right now. Kind of. Cinderella gave a non-committal grunt in response. Then after a moment, his lips curled in a cruel smirk.
あれだろ。女癖の悪さで実家に感動でもされたか。
Cinderella, if he says now that his parents are dead or something, you're going to regret making a joke about this.
兄ちゃん、彼女がおる前でそないなこと言わ
But I guess it's not the case, at least. Kaguya's gaze shifted to me. I admit I'm curious, but I'm not worried about it. There was still a lot about him I didn't know, but I could afford to wait until he was comfortable telling me.
大人やな。
He ruffled my hair playfully.
どうしたん？白雪さん？
I realized Snow White was staring at Kaguya's head.
その目
All at once, everyone looked up at Kaguya's mask. Yeah, it's a rabbit.
せやで、ようわかったな。
Oh, it's a rabbit. That's cute. What did you think it was? I thought it was a How? How?
せやろ。ひいさんもうさぎさんみたいでかわええで。
Oh, thanks. I tilted my head in his direction and he ruffled my hair some more. As cute as a rabbit, huh? As cute as a rabbit. As cute as a rabbit. As cute. As cute as a rabbit. Yeah, yeah, mm-hmm. How do I do this? There we go. Cute as a rabbit, right?
どう
Wait,
した？
cute as a rabbit.
別にただその目
Thanks
剥がれない
for the fat.
と思っただけ
Bnui. Fucking Bnui. I want bunny boys in Final Fantasy XIV so bad. I want to be a bunny boy. In contrast with Kaguya's jovial laughter, Snow White stared back coldly. As I attempted to decipher this exchange, however, something else occurred to me. Oh crap, I forgot about dinner!
ああ、そういやそうだな。
Let's order takeout!
ごたごたありすぎて忘れてた。
I get started on it now. I rose to my feet and Kaguya followed suit.
手伝うで、ひいさん。
Oh, that'd be great. I opened the fridge and took stock of our inventory on hand. Salami, cheese, chicken, eggs, veggies.
今日は何作るん？
Feels like we haven't had something light and simple in a while. Any requests?
自分が作ってくれたもんなら何でもええよ。
This is the worst thing you can say to someone who's asking what you want for dinner. I know, because I am also the kind of person, if I get asked, oh, what do you want for dinner? I never have an answer. And I know it's hard for the person who's cooking, because like you have to always think about what to make, and I just sit there like, I'm sorry, I'll eat anything. But then again, I cannot eat a lot of things, so it's kind of... What about you, Cinderella? Snow White?
別に何でも。
俺はいらない
Yeah, and you don't eat. Okay then. Evidently, no one was supposed to be making something simple per Alice's request. Not that I care if they did oppose it. Still, the idea of making something like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for dinner bored me to tears. If Alice knew I felt that way, he'd scoff and call me a diva. Folding my arms, I contemplated tonight's menu. I want to make something simple, but I don't know what. What's something that's simple and classy that I could make from scratch? Simple and classy. We don't have fish. Did we have fish in our list? It's perfect. I snapped my fingers. Fish sticks were simple on their own, but I could spice things up by making a few fancy dipping sauces.
Tendies, chicken tendies.
Oh, but dang it, we don't have any. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Huh? I'll come with you. Why don't you just make something with the food you have at home? Cinderella, would you mind if we ran to the store real quick?
Oh, あんまゆっくりしすぎて今度こそ本当にやらかさねえようにね。
Can I punch him? I want one punch. One simple punch, yeah? Can I just, you know, just one quick punch? Why would you say that? He smirked at me as he leaned against his chair. Okay, is that joke going over your head, Yurika? Ah, okay. At first I didn't get it, but then the innuendo sank in. Yeah. In retaliation, I raised my fist, but Kaguya grabbed my arm to stop me. No, listen, I get that one punch. I will get it. Go, Kaguya. God damn it, Cinderella. How dare you? And so he dragged me outside. One punch as a threat. As a treat, yeah. Exactly.
One punch.
I'm so humiliated. I didn't need a mirror to know my face was bead red.
まあ僕が言うもなんやけどあんま気にせん方がええって。シンデレラさんかて意地悪しよう思うたんやなくて自分のことを心配してあんなん言うたんやで。
I know.
よしよし。
He gently stroked my hair as I slumped my shoulders. After a moment, I straightened myself up and looked over at him.
どないしたん?
Kaguya seems unruffled. How do you react? Ask about his lip. How's your lip? I started to reach out to touch it, then stopped myself.
平気平気。
Gritting, Kaguya waved a hand dismissively. You sure? The punch was pretty recent. He gets punched a lot, huh?
僕が悪いんやし。
Why don't you ever stand up for yourself? All these people keep hitting you, but you never fight back. You never protest. You just take it. Granted, I'm not saying you should fight back, but it just worries me sometimes. I don't want you to bottle it all up inside. I wish all these trains would stop. No, I'm not. But I am your girlfriend, so it's only natural that I worry about you. Kaguya's eyes widened and he smiled softly. I let out a sad sigh. Feels like you got me wrapped around your little finger. I do. I stopped short. Kaguya followed suit. Then, clasping my hands in front of me, I turned to face him, my head tilted. I gotta be honest, I'd much rather have you wrapped around my finger. That's what I'm used to. I was still in the honeymoon phase of the relationship, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world.
Hand holding.
Sure. I took his What the fuck is that word? Profit hand and we set off. Now it felt like a date. The winter air felt nice and cool against my flushed skin. The moon looks really pretty tonight. You can also... I don't know if you can see it on stream, but you can see the exact circle where they put the moon in and how they simply just, you know, erased like half of it, but they didn't fully erase it, so there would be...
That's fun. Looking at the moon reminded me. Have you heard of the rabbit who lives on the moon? His name is literally Kaguya. I think he has heard it.
Usagi-san?
Maybe not? Yeah, don't you see him up there?
見えへんな。ひーさんには見えるの？
Nope, I guess it's kind of hard to see from here. Maybe it's because the moon's so far away, or maybe it's all the light pollution. But centuries ago, our ancestors could see an outline of a rabbit making rice cakes, or so they say.
ぺったんぺったん。
ペッタンペッタンつるペッタンペッタンペッタンマチペッタン
Okay.
ペッタンペッタンタラタンタタタタタラタン
Yep, I have to wonder why a rabbit would want to make rice cakes, because they're good.
やっぱ食べるんちゃう？美味しいし。
おいしいし
You like rice cakes?
好きやで。
Interesting. Having acquired an interesting. Having acquired an exciting new piece of info, I fist bumped internally. So while we're on the subject of
こ
rabbits,
の麺？
yeah, maybe you're a rabbit too.
僕がウサギさんやったらいつか月に帰ってまうかもしらんな。
Uh-huh. If you tried that, I'd do everything in my power to stop you, and I mean everything.
ひーさんは僕を引き止めてくれるんや。
Downright.
そっか。ひーさんにはかなわんな。
I feel like his personality is still very much the same as it was in Cinderella's Route, where he was our servant, because they have the same dynamic going on between them with how he acts with her. It's funny, because in this one they haven't actually known each other for that long. Sure, maybe Kaguya was just joking around, but to me it felt like maybe he kinda meant it. He seemed so unassuming at first glance, but deep down he was an enigma, constantly threatening to slip away into the night.
なあなあひーさん。
Hmm.
知っとる？
What is it? I flinched, startled from my
ウサギ
thoughts.
さんはな、耳が長くてどんなに遠くの声でも聞こえるんやで。
Oh. I blinked and tilted my head. It can?
せやな。聞かれたくない内緒話なんてのはお手のもんやな。
Uh-huh. Which emotion best describes your response to this? Pity. That must be really hard.
どっちが？
For the rabbit. For the rabbit, of course. The secret teller will never find out they were overheard unless you tell them, but the eavesdropper has to live with that knowledge forever. That's why people keep secrets at all, because that knowledge can never be revoked. And on top of that, the rabbit can't choose not to hear it, right?
せやな。
Which makes it even worse, since a lot of secrets are malicious in nature. Even if the malicious intent is directed at someone else and not them personally, that doesn't make it pleasant to hear. The moment you heard it, you'd cast judgment on a secret teller and fall into despair.
絶望？
Yes, despair. My favorite Japanese word. Despair.
Yeah.
I imagine the rabbit would come to hate himself.
なんで？
He'd realize he carried those very same dark thoughts within himself. Put simply, he'd realize he was no different from the secret tellers he so reviled. At that point, I'd start plugging my ears or something.
ひーさんはウサギさんの気持ちがわかるんやな。
I can't know for sure how other people feel, but I can at least imagine it. The social code dictates treat others as you wish to be treated, but even then there's no guarantee they want to be treated that way. Since we can't know what the other person is thinking, we have to observe them and make an educated
そ
guess.
のための会話？
Yeah. その通り. I shot him the fingers.
でもウサギさんは喋らへんで。
Sure, but there are other ways of expressing yourself.
例えば？
Well, there's body language and facial expressions.
ウサギさんは無表情やで。
They do. Or maybe we just think they don't. Maybe we just need to spend more time with them to recognize them. Besides, you never know, they might write letters like we do.
交換日記。
Exactly. And speak of which, Kaguya, it's your turn tonight.
うん。せやな。ちゃんと覚えとるで。
He stopped short to stroke my hair.
ひーさんに会えてほんまよかったわ。
So when will you tell me your deep sark? What? Your deep dark secret. Well, that was random.
突然ちゅうか。
Tell me your deep dark secret.
ひーさんが可愛すぎて可愛すぎてどんどん好きが募っていくみたいや。
Hey. I'm glad I met you too. I like that his mouth does this. He's a very low-key cat mouth. Like a... How do you say it? I don't know how you say it. This one. This one. Very low-key though. I closed my eyes and gave myself over to the feeling of his palm against my hair, almost like I really was a bunny. When at last the warmth of his hand pulled away, I slowly opened my eyes once more. There I found Kaguya gazing tenderly back at me. Instantly I thought back to last night and trembled. Somehow I was embarrassed, happy, and a tiny bit fearful all at once. Just then... Oh! Come on in! I was so startled by the familiar voice I straightened my posture and blurted out a response, reflexively slipping into work mode. When I turned around, I found one of the cafe regulars standing there. That would explain why my brain defaulted to come on in of all things. Ah, the guy from the very beginning of the game. Yep, I just got off work. What about you? Are you on your way home? It would have been rude to blow him off, so I decided to make small talk. Smiling stiffly, his gaze wandered to Kaguya beside me. Oh, this is... I tried to answer, but Kaguya stopped me.
彼女と同じ喫茶店で働かせてもらってます。かぐやっちゅうもんです。お客さんはうちによく来てくれるお客さんやんな。今後ともよろしゅうお願いします。ああ、そうなんだ。ここのところ忙しくて行けなかったから。そうですか。ぜひまた来てくれると嬉しいです。な、ゆりかちゃん。
Hey, I smiled to hide my internal conflict. After we parted ways with the regular, we walked in silence for a while. How come... I wanted to ask how come you didn't introduce yourself as my boyfriend, but the words wouldn't come. I knew he'd intentionally avoided the subject in order to keep things professional, but I would have liked him to be at least a little protective of me around other guys. Ah, the fishmonger sells fish at ass o'clock in the night. He changed the subject with eerily apt timing. Let's get in and get out quick so Cinderella doesn't make any more creepy jokes when we get back. And so I forced myself to let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
That was Cinderella's reaction to his first fish stick. Fish stick. How is it? I stopped eating and looked at him expectantly. I will give you poor people food, bro. Care to hear it? They're so light and crunchy. Thus far I'd been making a lot of intricate dishes, so it was nice to have a more lazy dinner for a change. All thanks to Kaguya and Alice for giving me the idea. Fish sticks are good, though. If I'm thinking of the same thing she's thinking of. Wait, what? How did you know about that? Then it hit me. Oh god, you heard everything? Embarrassed, I buried my face in my hands. Honestly, I should have known they would have heard us given how loud Alice was screaming. Wait, does that mean they all heard me ripping and groaning too? Don't laugh at me. No laughing at the dinner table. God, I pouted at him. Then I glanced over at Kaguya and realized he wasn't eating. Do you not like it, Kaguya? And yet he's barely eaten any of it. You don't have to force yourself to eat it, you know? Oh, not your mate, bro! At the rate we were headed, Cinderella was only getting more furious.
How do you handle Cinderella's anger? We save because we apparently need yet another save file. And change the subject. I immediately changed the subject. So, is Snow White really not going to eat with us?
No. あいつはな、食わねえんだよ。
And he hasn't starved to death somehow?
一応生きてるから死なねえんだろ。
You guess? Okay, but seriously though, how has he survived without eating? I turned to Kari so as to include him in the conversation. Huh? Well, I am very much looking forward to find out what is going on with Snow on his route.
まあな。
Why? Huh? How so? Ah. I see.
その理屈でいくと、せっかく用意されたご飯を食べ残すのも
I can see where he's coming from, but on the other hand, like, if I make food for someone else and me, I would be more hurt by them not eating it or thinking they're a burden than how it is a burden for me to make it. Because it's not a burden for me to make food. I'm happy if someone eats my food.
そうかも知らんな。まあ、白雪くんには白雪くんなりの事情があると思うね。
ごちそうさん。
As soon as he finished his dinner, Cinderella rose to his feet. What about dessert?
じゃあ後で部屋に持ってこい。
Okay.
かしこまりました、ご主人様。かしこまりました。
I saw him off with a firm salute. Now it was just the two of us, with nothing to talk about. We continued eating in silence. Once I finished, I stacked my plate on top of Cinderella's. I glanced over at Kaguya to find him still slowly working through his food. Was he always such a slow eater? I thought back to all the other meals I'd shared with him. All I could remember was that he'd always complimented taste no matter what he ate. Whenever I asked him for specific requests, he'd shrug his shoulders just as he did tonight. But when I asked him to help me brainstorm something simple, only then did he suggest fish sticks. And now that he was eating said fish sticks, he was progressing more slowly than ever. As I watched him, a thought occurred to me. Hey, Kaguya. Do you like fish sticks?
好きやで。
Believe it or not, he actually seemed a bit bashful about it. It's enough for you to have seconds, you know?
ああ。おおきに。
No need to be shy. He stopped eating. What is it this time? Was it something I said? Or is he the kind of person who can't eat when someone else is watching? Thank you for the hydrate time. I thought about it for a moment and decided to clear away the empty plates. Coming to myself to keep the mood light, I began washing the dishes in the sink. After a moment, I heard him start eating again. In spite of my relief, I felt guilty that I made him uncomfortable. Huh? His voice was barely audible. Why would he apologize? Had he wronged me in any way? I turned to find him standing there holding his empty plate. You don't want seconds?
Oh, thank you for the positive. Ah,
okay then, I'll wash it for you. Go ahead and have a seat.
僕も洗うの手伝うわ。
He rolled up his long sleeves. And that was when I saw it. The dark red lines are... there we go. Finally! Once again, I put a trigger warning up there for anyone who is uncomfortable with the topic at hand. The dark red lines ran across his arm like scratch marks, and I knew what they were. But before I could say anything, he unrolled his sleeves again. Aww. Kaguya.
猫に引っかかれて。
Yeah. Kaguya, that one doesn't work. Even if you do have a cat, it doesn't work. I hadn't asked for an explanation, but he gave me one regardless. Meanwhile, I thought back over our history together. It only took a few seconds to arrive at a conclusion, either because I didn't have many memories to review, or because I always felt something was off with him. Kaguya, can I ask you something? Jesus Christ! I am not going to choose our first option. Do you have amnesia? By any chance, do you have amnesia? Once upon a time, in a looking-glass world, there lived a peculiar young man named Kaguya. He was blessed with a mysterious charm such that all the women of the world, rich or poor, fell head over heels for him. Why would they feel so strongly for him, you ask? Naturally, his good looks were part of the reason, but more than that, it was his kindness. He was always smiling warmly, and he seemed to understand people better than anyone else, even themselves. You see, Kaguya never made any selfish demands. No matter how afraid he felt, no matter how much he suffered, he always kept a smile on his face. He could never reject the ladies who wanted him, and so his list of lovers grew. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? There were too many girls to count. But none of these relationships lasted very long. Each girlfriend started off madly in love with him, but would inevitably break things off just a short time later, and Kaguya would accept their feelings without protest. He never talked about himself either. Why, you ask? Because why?
せやな。
I asked him if he had amnesia, and his response was yes.
僕な、記憶があらへんねん。
That's unfortunate.
今まで自分が何してたんか、自分がほんまは何者なのか覚えとらんのや。
Well now, that's a huge important revelation. And yet his tone was completely casual. Frankly, I would have liked it if he told me this up front. Wait, but then what about the lady who dumped you at the cafe? Ichi! Oh my god! Hi! Welcome! Thank you so much for the raid! Hi! Good evening! Good evening! Hi! Let me give you a shout out. You were playing Gunfire Reborn. I have no clue what that is, but I hope you had fun. Hi! Welcome, Raiders. My name's Nue. I play visual novels and JRPGs, or anything that has a story. I like the color pink. I said the exact same thing earlier today, but I'll say it again. Welcome to my stream. Hi, hope you're all doing good. And as per... as usual, for raid, here we go. Pikachu-chan. Pikachu is sick tonight.
Pikachu. Pika Pika. Pikachu.
You've been in both streams. That's perfectly fine. Hello to you again.
あの子は僕がふらふらとその辺を歩いとった時に久しぶりちゅうて声かけられて
Welcome.
話聞いてみたら僕と付き合う
Thank you so much for the follow.
記憶があらへんことを正直に話したんやけど
Oh. And she didn't believe you.
冗談やと思われたな
It's just no, it all made sense. The reason Kaguya hadn't stood up for himself was because he couldn't remember dating this woman in the first place. That and his naturally passive personality didn't help. What about your name? Are you sure it's Kaguya? Are you sure?
それは他の人が僕のことをかぐや言うからああ僕はかぐやなんやと思っただけで
Great, now we're two people who don't have memories. Well, me outside of this world and him in this world. Oh. It was all so surreal, like I was reading a romance novel that suddenly pivoted into suspense. Then again, I suppose a lot of suspense novels have elements of romance in them, so maybe the inverse isn't that far-fetched.
やっぱ信じられへんよな
Oh no, I do believe you. Do you believe? Oh my god! I have to make a save for every single fucking one of these things. Yes, I believe you. What happened? Wait, what happens if I don't believe him? We get an immediate bad ending. Wow. Okay. What are you talking about? Of course I believe you. I gave him a look that said, who do you think you're talking to? His eyes widened. I'm the one who put two and two together, you know. Are you really that surprised?
まあそうかもしれんけどなんで
Are you asking how I figured out you had amnesia? Well, at first I thought maybe you could read minds, but that wasn't very realistic. Granted, part of the reason you're so incredibly perceptive is undoubtedly your careful nature, but I suspected you were more focused on yourself.
関心
Put simply, I'm referring to your self-awareness. Awareness of yourself, awareness of the difference between yourself and others, self-identification, the ability to recognize yourself. Yes, thank you very much, Yurika. Let me guess. You constantly wonder to yourself, what does this person think of me? How will they react if I say XYZ? You're interested in other people because they interact with someone you're dying to know more about, yourself. Oh, but to be clear, I'm not saying you shouldn't act this way. There's nothing wrong with it. Everyone does it to some degree. But in your case, I think you do it a bit excessively. Of course, if it was just that, we could call you self-conscious and be done with it. But in your case, you're a little too good at reading people. Your intuition is too powerful. Granted, plenty of people are hyper-focused on people around them, but that doesn't mean they aren't self-centered. No, they just lack the confidence to express it. As unstable as they may be, they have a firm sense of self. What bothers them is the inconsistency between how others view them and how they view themselves. This sort of person tends to let their imagination run wild. Oh, this person must think X, Y, Z, and so on. They make a lot of misguided assumptions. But in your case, you don't make any assumptions, right or wrong. You don't try to read into anyone's behavior, you just sincerely want to know what they think of you. And that makes me think maybe you're searching for clues about yourself. Aha! That's not all either. You always default to other people's opinions. You're completely passive, but it's not that you lack confidence. You simply don't know what your personal opinion actually is. And that's how I decided you might have amnesia. Jesus! Okay. You can call me Detective Eureka. No. Why would it? I stared back blankly, baffled by the question. Oh, I've seen worse, honestly. What? Not at all. Why would you make me uncomfortable? You're my boyfriend. Look, if you like I'm being psychoanalyzed or something. Just a little. He's been keeping so much from me. The fact that he has amnesia and the fact that he doesn't remember anything else he could be keeping from me. Because he doesn't remember. Could he be lying about his feelings for me? The thought made my chest tighten. After a long silence, I spoke up again. Kaguya... I can now see why he has 14 bad endings. Stroke his hair. Silently I gazed. Thank you, Duolingo. I am well aware. Silently I gazed into his eyes. As I reached out, Kaguya flinched slightly. I offered him a reassuring smile. There, that's...
Yoshi, Yoshi.
That's a good boy. And stroked his hair. Aww. He didn't try to stop me. As I ran my palm over his head, I stared directly into his eyes. Like the moon, I seemed to shine. Normally, you're the one who does this to me, but now it's your turn. How's it? Nice, isn't it? I thought so. I ran my hand over his head one more time, then pulled him into a big hug. I can't imagine how hard it must be for you. Aww. Aww. Lying in bed, I organized my thoughts. Amnesia, a state in which one has lost their memories. The whole who are you, who am I shtick. The formal term is retrograde amnesia, which includes both full and partial amnesia. Full amnesia is when someone can't remember anything except their name, and partial amnesia is when there's a mix of things they can and can't remember. Thus, Kaguya's amnesia would be categorized as full amnesia. As a side note, they say the majority of amnesia cases are psychological in origin. Surprising, isn't it? In fiction, it's usually the result of blunt force trauma, like a nasty blow to the head. But amnesia caused by physical trauma, in the rare cases in which it occurs, only lasts for a short time following the initial injury. When severe pain is inflicted on a person, the instinctive reaction is to escape. I want to get out of here, I never want to think about this again, I want to bury it all. Amnesia is caused by the conscious mind escaping from that sort of psychological stress. In other words, it's a defense mechanism. They forget in order to protect their bodies and minds so they won't break. I ruminated on this further. What does it mean to lose your memories? It must feel so very surreal, existing in the present while some other version of you exists somewhere else. If I lost my memories to the point that I didn't know who or where I was anymore, how would I react? Well, Eureka, that's a very good question. How would I feel if a stranger reached out and tried to cheer me up? I would probably be overwhelmed with fear and inexplicable repulsion. The entire world around me would seem so frightening, I'd probably want to run away. Following a spike in anxiety, I decided to pay a visit to Kaguya's room. But it was the middle of the night when everyone was supposed to be asleep. What if he's already gone? Wait, there he
ちゃん
is.
とおるで。安心しや。
Come here. He pressed his index finger to his lips, and I clapped both hands over my mouth. It's impossible for me not to worry. Anytime I take my eyes off you, it feels like you might just vanish into thin air. Did I wake you, or were you awake already?
起きてたで。
Liar, you've got a serious case of bad hair.
ほんま、どこ
He touched his hair. Nowhere, I was lying.
やと思った。
Hehe. Can I come in?
僕はけど。
Wait, but Cinderella said we're not allowed to visit each other. Gazing at me, he cocked his head.
シンデレラさんとの約束はどないする
Oh, crap. I completely forgotten about our agreement. It was Cinderella's way of looking out for us and making sure we didn't skip any more steps on the staircase, as it were. Will you obey Cinderella's rule? No! Pardon the intrusion. I walked straight into his room without hesitation. If it was for my beloved, I'd break my promises to other people at the drop of a hat. That's not a very good thing to do, Yurika. Oh, and don't worry, if Cinderella catches us, I'll take all the blame. Or maybe we could run away together, just the two of us. I was joking, but at the same time I was a little bit serious.
それもかもしれんな。
With a giggle, I glanced around. This was my first time in his room and it was very well kept. The bed was perfectly made without a single wrinkle in the sheets or stray hair on the
ちゃ
pillow.
んと寝とるから安心しや。
Ooh. Awkward. It felt like I was trying to play adultery detective or something. I plopped myself down on the spotless bed. This was the part where I was supposed to look up at him and whisper sweet seduction until he threw himself at me. Fancy a bed with me tonight! I was trying to be cute, but for some reason my voice came out in a cringy imitation of his accent.
僕はけど。ヒーさんは
Stop! Don't say it. I'm really nervous, okay? My whole body felt like it was on fire. Ho ho! We finally get a CG! Woo! We finally get a CG! That's the first CG on his road! Yay! He pressed a hand over my mouth. It was all on the spur of the moment, but I'm sure now he was... Wait, what? It was all on the spur of the moment, I'm sure, but now he was leaning over me on the bed. Almost like...
言うの。
Ha ha! Ha ha! That's not very say-so. I smacked his chest.
すまんすまん。堪忍してな。
Still hovering over me, he started to stroke my hair. Meanwhile, I was dying of embarrassment.
なんでこないなことするか教えて。
Well, I was scared you were going to turn around and ghost me.
僕が
うん。
ヒーさんの前から。
Yeah.
そないなことあらへんよ。かわいい僕の彼女を置いていくはず。
Liar. That's not going to work on me.
名探偵ゆりかやもんな。
That's right. You do want to find out more about yourself, don't you?
どないやろな。まあでも知らん方がええかもしれんな。女の子には
You
センスもない
proper cheating bastard. No, you're good too. I busted laughing in spite of myself.
い
Sorry.
や謝らんでええよ。浮気は良くないっちゅうんは僕も分かっとるし。
But on the other hand, wouldn't it be a lot easier to learn more about yourself if you just asked those same girls? His gaze drifted to his arm, to the faded scars etched into his wrist. His eyes narrowed
これ
bitterly.
自傷行為っていうんやろ。
You tell me.
僕は自分を傷つけるほど自分のことが嫌いやったやろなって。せやから僕が今記憶があらへんのは
Hmm.
偶然やなくて
Well, he's not
必然なんやろ
wrong.
なって思ってる。
But don't you think your family's worried about
ど
you?
ないやろ。僕に家族がいて僕を心配してるんなら
He raised his eyes back to
ヒーさん
mine.
は僕に記憶を取り戻してほしい。
You asking me?
ほら僕主体性が欠如してる人間やし。
Is it the thing, what if I don't like the person I am when I get my memories back? Touché. Do you want Kaguya to get his memories back? We are supposed to say yes for some reason. Yes, I want you to get them back, but not for me, for you. Yeah, I understand you might not want to remember, but still. His lips were smiling, but his eyes weren't. No fair! No fair! I had this exact same thought outside of this world. Yurika had, I mean. We had this exact same conversation with Alice before we actually went into this world. Oh, what if I remember everything? What happens to the current me? Oh yeah. His eyes, amber like a harvest moon, pulled me in. Mm. Well, no, I only know the you that doesn't have memories that came to the cafe and asked me to go out with him. But even if he did get his memory back, he would still very much be Kaguya. Oops, will you take that? Oh my fucking god! The answer is still yes. Yes. I answered without hesitation. Even if the new him wouldn't want me anymore, I still wanted him to get his memories back. I didn't want his real self, the self he'd forgotten, to disappear. Even if it changes who you are right now, I still want you to regain your memories. Don't worry, I'm stronger than you think. I wrapped my arms around his neck and gazed into his eyes. You can get a little rough with me, I won't break. You've nothing to be afraid of. Whenever you're feeling sad or upset, I'll be right there to hug you or hold your hand. I'll accept you no matter what, so I want you to show me who you really are. Can you do that for me? Yeah! Let's get your memories back, together. He was now all the way on top of me. Oh, he is? Oh, it's a fade to black? Ooh. Oh! Where am I? White walls, white sheets, everything in this tiny little room is white. Uh-oh. What am I doing here? I don't understand. How long have I been here? I wanted to ask someone, but no one else was around. My only option was to try to remember. As I waded through my sluggish mind, all of a sudden I heard the rattle of a film projector. I looked up to find black and white images projected onto the wall. Images of a boy wearing a mask looking up at the full moon. Who is that? When was this taken? Oh? Oh? It was raining outside. Meanwhile, I sat perfectly still. My legs had gone numb, but it told me I needed to sit here and stay quiet, and I had no choice but to obey. Where am I? All my hazy mind could offer was that I was in some Eastern-style house. On the far side of the room was a tiny altar with a few flowers and a framed photograph of a beautiful woman. For some reason, all the adults around me were wearing black from head to toe. As we sat there, I could hear them talking about someone. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but their voices carried over the sound of the rain, and I couldn't escape it. Oh? I had no idea who they were talking about, but apparently some lady was abusing her young son and then she died. Poor kid. As with everyone else in the room, I felt sorry for him. Then I looked down at my hands and noticed how bony they were. Come to think of it, why am I so hungry? When I looked up, I found the adults all looking at me. I flinched and straightened up. I needed to do as I was told, or else I was a bad kid, and I didn't want him to yell at me. No! Oh, I don't like where this is going. Okay, so first you feel sorry for him and then it's a pain suddenly, huh? The rain poured down in thick sheets, drowning out the voices. You guys are not slick.
But I will take this as a chance to take a break and stop here for today, because I feel like if I keep going, we're not going to find anywhere else we can save anytime soon. And frankly, I don't want that to happen. So, okay. We found out a few things about him. His route is promising to be very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. But like, this means we're now two amnesiacs. How do you say it? Amnesia. You know. You know. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm gonna stop here for tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming. I will post a schedule in a few. We're going to continue this game as usual on Wednesday. Maybe we'll actually get through his route quicker. Feels like it's not going to be that long. And then we'll continue on Wednesday as usual. Hehe. But it's nice. We're getting somewhere. I like it. I like it. I like Kaguya. But you know what? I'm gonna send everyone who's rated. I'm just gonna send everyone who's rated on a funny round trip. Because half of you guys probably know New already anyway. And I say we're going to rate New. Doesn't that sound like a fun idea? I fucked it up. It was a nice scene. I'm glad you think so. There we go. There we go. We're gonna continue this game on Wednesday. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to everyone who came with the raids, to everyone who stayed, to everyone who was already here before that. I hope you had a fun time. I had a fun time. Let me quickly switch to the ending screen.
Da-da-dan.
And then put on the ending song. And then I'll say goodnight. See you very soon. Say hi to New for me. And I'll see you all on Wednesday. Night night.
And bye-bye.